June 1st, D-Day. A.J. Brown, D-Day, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We will know if it's going to be quick or if it's going to take a couple more hours to get done on trading him to the New England Patriots. Obviously, prior to the program starting, the Rams make another significant move. They've already made one earlier in the offseason here for Trent McDuffie. Now they add Myles Garrett and sending Jared Verse to the Cleveland Browns. What a move. A Super Bowl all-in move. For the best player in pro football. Not debatable. There's no debate. Myles Garrett's the best player in the National Football League. And over the next 3 years, there is nobody coming out of the draft that the Los Angeles Rams could draft that would be in the conversation of a Myles Garrett. Look, Jared Verse is a hell of a football player. And there is no doubt on June 1, the Rams have the best roster. That doesn't necessarily mean come December that those guys will be the best football team in the NFL. You never know. War of attrition, injuries. You got an aging quarterback. I wouldn't sit here on June 1 going like this. Well, it's fucking over. You have no idea how the war of attrition is going to play out. As of right now, there is no doubt that the Rams have the best roster. And for the record, Jalen Carter was put in the conversation of being dealt to the Cleveland Browns for Myles Garrett. There was a couple packages being reported by numerous sources that said that first they initially offered AJ, the Browns said no. Then they offered Jalen Carter and a first rounder and a couple 2s and 3s. And the Browns said no. So the Philadelphia Eagles were in the mix. Sills, if the Rams don't make the Super Bowl or win it, someone deserves to get fired with adding Garrett and McDuffie. Absolutely true. Imagine if Donald comes out of retirement. You might want to think that. He's not that old of a player. Put Aaron Donald next to Myles Garrett and next to Fisk. You'd have the best front four in football. No doubt. The Los Angeles Rams, this is what makes that pick now for Ty Simpson a little more peculiar. You use the first-round pick that will have no impact whatsoever on your football team and no impact whatsoever. You might want to go in another direction to get another weapon. I don't know, maybe another offensive lineman or maybe another linebacker. So, okay, but the Rams have clearly on paper won the offseason. Hey, Jonathan Grenard's a fine ball player. He ain't Myles Garrett. Let's not kid ourselves here. So, on paper, on June 1, they look like the team to beat, no doubt. So, and as we said also, I look back as far as January 7th. I said the Philadelphia Eagles will get a 2 and a 3 back from New England for A.J. Brown. I'm not wavering off that. Now, there might be a contingency on the first-round pick to maybe make it a 1 if he hits certain incentives. Potentially like what we saw with the Carson Wentz deal. But as of right now, I'm hanging on a 2 and a 3. Okay? And by the way, they got the best cornerback, first-team All-Pro, in Trent McDuffie. We told you a couple years back. You guys said he was too small. Well, he's an All-Pro, and now he's a member of the Los Angeles Rams. And he is a press corner. We'll get to the AJ stuff here in a minute. Blockbuster move. to say the least. About time Garrett deserves a Super Bowl. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the super. Now you get a chance to put a Super Bowl ring on your legendary career, which would be insane. And Stafford gets a shot at 2 Super Bowl rings now, along with that legendary arm of his. First ballot Hall of Famer, if this guy ends up getting 2 Super Bowl wins, along with those numbers. This is absolutely, I'll tell you what, this has been the best day so far in the offseason for the NFL, and that includes the draft. The draft was not very impressive. It clearly makes the Rams the team to beat in all of football, not just the NFC, and not just the NFC East or West, excuse me. It makes them now formidable. And Myles Garrett, in my opinion, this is like Reggie White going from Philly to Green Bay, and the impact that Reggie made on going up to Green Bay. This is in that conversation. Like, you know, a lot of people in Philadelphia thought that Reggie was long in the tooth. And that, more so than not, came from the owner, Norman Brayman. Well, Reggie went up there and was a force and was an all-pro. Every year he was up there in Green Bay. I think that's the same kind of stuff here. Plus, you're in a better organization. You're in a better organization now. So the Rams, without a doubt, have the roster. But like I tell Eagle fans and everyone else, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the Super Bowl. That does not mean that. We have to wait and see how this plays out. War of attrition, injury factors, depth. How deep are they? You know, usually when you got a lot of big money guys, you don't have a lot of depth on your football team. And you're going to need depth to win a Super Bowl. So, we'll see how that plays out. All right. Big move for the Rams. Now for the Philadelphia Eagles. F them picks is back. Eagles still own the Rams. Ancient history, my friend. Nobody gives a shit about 2025. They only care about 2026. Okay? 26. Ancient history. Old news, different team. Every year you go into a season, you don't have the same team. That's for every NFL team across the board. You're all different. You're all new. You never go back with the same football team. Look at you. You're losing your key player on offense. I love how, get this, one of my favorite listens is hearing people say this. Knee issues, drops, not productive. But that never applies to the quarterback, too, the last 2 years. Quarterback hasn't been productive either the last 2 years. A.J. Brown hasn't been productive. Well, I can make the argument Jalen Hurts has been less productive than A.J. Brown the last 2 years. It never, ceases to amaze me how when a guy's going out the door, you seemingly pile on. I mean, right? It's incredible to watch and listen to. The least productive quarterback of any contending football team has been Hurts the last 2 years with his 29.05 and 18 touchdowns. Yeah, but the quarterback throwing the ball to AJ, his numbers are down. Well, Hurts' numbers are down. And it's true. By the way, one thing on that Rams, Stan Kroenke's got a boatload of money. All that Walmart money. Okay? Boatload of Walmart money. Hit the like button. Guys, supers go to the top. We appreciate each and every single one of you here. Angelo Cataldi will join us at 3:30. Gary Cobb at 4:30. By the way, today at 4 p.m. is the official time that you can make it official on AJ and also the Garrett deal. We know that there's a one involved with Garrett. We don't know what the rest of the compensation is. for Myles Garrett yet. So we'll know as we get closer to 4 p.m. Now, remember something, too. You go to Los Angeles, that's quite a pay cut. That's quite a pay cut going to L.A. and playing. How are they going to compensate Myles Garrett on top of that by putting incentives in? All right, so let's go into A.J. Brown. As we said, January 7th, and we have not wavered. By the way, as we are in the open here, unless it's a super, we're not deviating off it. We'll get to you guys here in a minute. Okay? So if you want, you could save your thoughts. Sills, Veach fleeced Howie. I feel like the Browns won the trade. They got verse 2, a young edge in his prime. Khalid, it may go like this. The Rams win the first part, then the Browns win the back end of this deal. You may get the front end of the production of Garrett, and then as he gets older, Verse may turn out to be a spectacular football player, which he already is. But right now, the Rams, in the first at least 2 years of that deal, in my opinion, have the better and upper hand in this. So A.J. Brown leaving the Philadelphia Eagles makes you worse and makes the Philadelphia Eagles conversation about a better offense a stupid conversation. To sit there and say, you're better is ridiculous. He will make the New England Patriots better. He's a fabulous football player and been the most productive offensive weapon that they have had in the last 4 years. Nobody's come close. As a matter of fact, I looked it up. Outside of a running back like Shady or a Brian Westbrook, there's been no skilled player in the last 25 years in Philadelphia over a 4-year run that has had more success than A.J. Brown. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. And winning. 4 years, you're 50-18 and 2 Super Bowls to boot. So, you add that into the mix here today. Is Howie Roseman getting a 1? I still don't believe it. I don't. I don't believe you're going to give, like I've been told, you're going to give up a 1 for a disgruntled player. I think it's a 2 and a 3. And we shall see if that thing turns out to be a 28-1 or not. It may be. But since January 7th, we have been 1,000% telling you AJ's gone. Most of you have come around now. Some of you are still hanging in there. I was asked the question a couple times by Zander. What's your trade? I said 1,000%. I never was in the middle of anything on that. This was happening. He does not want to be here in that offense. He does not want to play with that quarterback or be coached by that coach. I've asked the question with an NFL executive. I'm waiting on it. Okay. I have to tweet this. And I want you to pay attention to everything I'm saying. There is a first-round pick involved in the A.J. Brown deal with the Eagles and Patriots. You're getting a 1. I'm wrong. You're getting a 1. There is a first-round pick involved in the A.J. Brown with the Eagles and Patriots. More details to follow. You're getting a 1. Okay. One more here. Okay. We are reporting the Eagles are getting a 1. You're getting a first-round pick. Okay. You're getting a 1. We all knew it. I'm reporting it right now. You're getting it. Okay? You didn't know dick, guy. This guy says he knew it. I just got a text message on it. We all knew it. Okay, guy. We all knew it was a first sales. No, you did not know. And don't put in Waddle. Okay? So there's a first-round pick. Congratulations to Howie on getting a 1. So it's going to be most likely a 1 and a 3. F the Rams, all this to beat the Eagles. No, all this to beat the Seahawks and the 49ers. That's not to beat the Eagles. That's to beat the Seahawks and the 49ers. You first had to have to win your division. Okay? So Browns general manager Andrew Berry says the star Myles Garrett has not been traded to the Rams yet, and talks are still ongoing with them. Nothing is final at this point yet. They must be talking about the other compensation. So, does Howie come in and swoop that guy up? And does he come in and offer Andrew Berry, who worked in the Philadelphia Eagle front office, more compensation? That's a tough one, Reyes. Sills, would you have given up Coop or Hunt for a 1 for Garrett? Hunt, yes. Cooper or Q. It's finalized. It's verse 2027, a first round 28, a second round pick in 29. Actually, 2028 is a second, and a third in 2029. That's not what I thought that deal would be. I thought it'd be 3 1s. But Verse kind of offsets it because Verse is a 1. So it's in theory a 1, and it's a proven 1, which makes that more like 2 1s. You see, Verse is a proven 1. So it's like 2 1s and a first rounder in 27, a second in 28, and a third in 29. That's a pretty good compensation. I think that's probably fair because Verse offsetting it. Verse is a proven commodity. Yes, just became official now. Yep. Yes. If I'm Howie, I'm calling and offering too. Yeah, the deal just got finalized. Still, speculation from an insider says AJ and 2027 second to the to New England. Eagles get a 28 first, a third and 27, and 6th. That doesn't sound that far-fetched. Sills would only move Coop if anything arranged marriage with Sydney Sweeney. Thank you. Sills loves that player and that person. I love that player. I do love that player. We're also getting another pick and a player. So who wins that trade? You're not getting a player. A 1 is definitely involved. Howie got a 1. That's great. That's great. It's great for both parties. But if it's, let's see what New England does this year. If New England has another 10-11 win season, you're talking about a pick in the 20s. If they shit the bed, then you're talking up more towards the top 10. And they play in the shittiest division in the AFC. So let's see how that plays out. Seals, imagine the sacks Garrett gets playing ahead instead of behind. Absolutely. And you're talking about being on a football field where last year, Myles Garrett was on a football team that won 5 freaking games, and he finished 4th in total defense with his unit. The impact he's going to make on that team, the secondary is going to be better. The entire football team on that side of the ball is going to be better because of the impact he makes. Like I said, Jonathan Grenard's a fine ball player. He ain't that. I'll tell you this, though, man. Giving up Verse is, you would have had to have given up Jalen Carter. Sorry, Sills, for asking again, but was it 2 first, a second, a third verse? No, here's what Zander told me just now. Deal got finalized. It's a 2027 first round. It's a second in 28, and it's a third in 2029. This is a true statement, too. This is a true statement here. Sills, all I know is McVay better not fuck off another NFC championship game because he's too stubborn to run the damn ball. Something's got to give. Absolutely true. Hey, dude, when you add players like this, there's that rope around the coach's neck gets tighter. Yes. Seals, if you're Howie, would you do the Rams deal with replacing Verse? Dude, Carter, I would be interested in getting rid of. Cooper and Q, I'm not getting rid of those guys. I'm not getting rid of it. I'll tell you something, too. I think the Dallas Cowboys missed out here a little bit. Stafford's too old. He just won the MVP award. Isn't that crazy? Guy just won the most valuable player award, and he's too old. So let's say, for shits and giggles, Patriots have the worst record. You draft a quarterback if Hurts pans out this year, or take Arch Manning. If Hurts hits the bed, I'm moving off of him in 27's offseason. I'm not sitting around waiting any longer. That's not happening. No, I agree with this. But gaining Myles Garrett, I mean, losing Verse is not good, but gaining Myles Garrett, I'll take that. Q and Coop are the heart of the backfield. No way. Carter has maturity issues. That's the only reason I consider him. But remember something too, KG. I would only consider moving Carter for people like Garrett, Micah Parsons, a Jared Verse. I'm not moving him for Jonathan Grenard. That guy's top shelf guys. Jalen Carter would be going nowhere. Now, if somebody comes to me and goes, here's Aaron Donald. That's a different conversation that you're having. Then you're talking about the elite guys in the league. Hey, Will Anderson and a package with Carter and ones. Would you do it? I'd think about it. I would think about that. But I'm not thinking about it for Jonathan Grenard or Jalen Phillips. That's not going to be in the conversation. Sales happy today. The Rams, the best team ever now. I never said that. He made that up. And when AJ to the Pats is Buddy and Dirty Diane and the NFL jump off was right. Congrats, Sills. I never said the Rams were the best team in football. I said they had the best roster June 1. And I also said that doesn't mean they're going to win the Super Bowl. I would never make that statement on June 1 they're going to win the Super Bowl. We got to see how it pays out. I think without a doubt they have the best roster in football. Yes. And if people stay healthy, they're going to be the team to beat. Okay? Trent is falling off. I'm thinking you're thinking Trent Williams. 4 o'clock today, Eastern time, during our program, we'll know if it's going to be a quick move or it's going to be a couple days or a couple hours more on sending A.J. Brown to New England. A.J. June 1st trade, delay, messed up. Any shot at Eagles getting Garrett? Deal's been done. The Rams have now officially got Myles Garrett for pretty good compensation too. Jared Verse, a 1, a 2, and a 3. One thing about the football gods, they always leveled the playing field. That's because every year the National Football League is different. No team's the same. No matter what you think. Howie has earned the right to make mistakes without any danger of losing his job. But he looked so dumb having Grenard when Garrett was an option. I don't think he looks dumb. I don't. Now, what tells me also this, why wouldn't Andrew Berry want to deal with Howie Roseman? Andrew Berry and Howie are very close. Howie must not want to have given up what they wanted to give up. Like initially reported was that A.J. Brown was in the deal to Cleveland. And there were a couple ones involved, and the Browns didn't want it. Okay? Then they came back with Carter as the deal. By then, the deal with Les Snead and Kevin Demoff, the Rams executives, were already through on step 9, and they consummated the deal. Would rather have Jalen Carter and Gennard than Myles Garrett, the future first. Not me. Jalen Carter and Jonathan Grenard will never in their careers be anything Myles Garrett was. Ever. Yes, Hills. That's where I was. I'd only be interested if we could get a pair, Garrett, Q, Coop, Carter, and sending 3 ones. I'd be in on that too. I'm still taking the Texans. I think they're better on every level. I don't know how much the linebackers on the Rams are all that hot, but I think the Texans are still better at every level. They got a preeminent corner. They've got a top-flight pass rusher in Will Anderson Jr., and I think their linebackers are pretty good and they're pretty deep, and I think they're well coached by D'Amico Ryans. I think the Rams are 10 times better than they were last year defensively. I don't think the Eagles' future is looking bright. I think the Eagles' defensive future is looking bright. I don't think the Eagles' offense is looking bright. So that means Carter didn't stop the Rams trade sales. They wanted Verse. It looks that way, Duel. It looks that way. They take Verse over Carter. That's what that looks like to me. And I'm reading it the same way you are. The Rams didn't want Carter. Or excuse me. The Browns didn't want Carter. They wanted Verse. Yes. That's how I read that. They think Verse is more of an impact player. and less of a headache, probably. And I read it the same. I would read that the same way you did. Yes. Seals, the Texans have way more moving pieces in their defense. The Rams seem kind of top heavy because of specific names on the defense. I would look at it that way too. I agree. Okay. Like I said, you see this take right here? It's not awful, but once again, he's stupid. Carter has 7 more seasons till he's Garrett's age. I don't give a fuck what you think. He's not going to be Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is a generational player. Carter's not going to be a generational player. It's like when Reggie White went to Green Bay. If I've got 4 years out of Myles Garrett and he delivered me 2 Super Bowls or a Super Bowl win in that time frame, and Carter doesn't do any more than what he's done already, it's an irrelevant conversation. Hey, dude, this guy here tries to make every move that is made look like the Eagles won something here. There's no narratives, guy. Seals, do you think Hurt will keep Carter under control? I do. And I think he'll help him a lot. It's over. Don't even watch. Just give the trophy to the Rams. Sky is falling. Not me here. I would never say that. I have no way would I ever go, well, the season's over. Too bad, Slagger. That's a sad thing that you say there. Sky's falling. Rams, give him the trophy. Sorry to see you have an attitude like that. Big Sills, picture if the teams become more defensive focused and the games become more low scoring, does the league attempt to make rule changes to pander to the offenses? Bingo. Nice take. Yes, to your answer, to your question. The thought of Reggie White to Green Bay just pissed me off. They didn't even make the guy a fucking offer back then, which is true. Me too, my friend. No. I'm sarcasm too. We're all good here, right? Being reported that the Browns wanted Carter and the Eagles said no. That's not what happened. They wanted Verse, the Browns, not Carter. Nice narrative change. I don't think AJ would let a trade happen to the Cleveland. He's got no trade clause in his contract. And if you're moving somebody, what do you mean he wouldn't let it happen? He has no leverage in that where you go. Okay? Can you dickheads quit saying things are reported when it's some Twitter dork? I swear, Sills, if the AJ trade doesn't include a first after you saying there's one going to be cruel, you serious, a one? Yes. There's a first round. You're getting a one. The Philadelphia Eagles are getting a first round pick. Okay? You're getting a one. Now, I will tell you, I don't know if it's 27 or 28. I would think that's probably the negotiations. We'll find out here real soon. I think this could happen right now. Like as soon as 4 o'clock hits. I think this could happen. Okay? Sills, if AJ makes it clear to Cleveland he doesn't want to be there, would Cleveland back out of a trade? No. I got 32 million reasons not want to report. Let's not forget something. Why would you not report making $32 million and start accumulating fines? The idea is not to get and give money back. I wouldn't hold out anywhere. Okay? Dan, how you been long time and actually so sick on wanted Miles so bad. Good to see you doing well. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Thank you again. Miles to traded to the Rams for a first and verse and other picks. Wow. It's a great move by the Rams. Actually, I think it's a pretty good rebuild also by the Browns. Y'all see how Sills flips narratives? Who the hell wouldn't want Carter over Verse? We said no. That's not what happened. I'm telling you, that's not what happened. They didn't want Jalen Carter. They wanted Jared Verse. Howie was knee-deep in the move, and the Eagles were right there with the Rams. First it was AJ. They said no. Then they said Carter. Then they said no. How about this, Marsh? How about this? We will not have been wrong since January 7th, about 1,000% AJ to the New England Patriots. Same people talking have been telling us all along what's been going on here. And we even told you the last couple days, don't go to sleep on this Myles Garrett thing. It looks like there's something there. We said that yesterday. People are like, nah, he ain't getting traded. Well, here he is. He's now a Ram. These agents all talk. And Kim, by the way, I got to hand it to you. Nice job. You thought for sure that this guy could be dealt. Irony of this Garrett trade is AJ no news Brown. Because this is a better player. Hold on here. Yeah, we aren't wrong about 1,000% getting a first for AJ. I thought he sucked. Sills, Rams doing all this just for McVay to get one win against. This has nothing to do with Sirianni and the Eagles. Dude, this is about beating the 49ers and the Seahawks. Beating the Rams or beating the Eagles? It's got nothing to do with that. Not you, dog. You're not good. Sills, I feel bad for Verse. You go from an NFC championship. Now, he does go back home. I think he's from Ohio. So he does go back home. I believe somebody can. Hey, Kyle, check it out. I thought Jared Verse was from Ohio. He played his college ball at FSU. But he was making it clear he didn't want to be there. Why would Cleveland send their best player to sign up for AJ's headache? Sales first is from Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, thought he was from Ohio. Thank you, Kyle. I think we could have unloaded AJ earlier and had an extra 2027. You couldn't have because of the money. Y'all wasn't wrong because y'all hired a call girl, Dirty Diane, who did something strange for some info. Had zero bearing. Thanks for the super, bro. Had zero bearing on the trade. You think Howie Roseman gives a shit if somebody's diddling the coach? Imagine that. Let me formulate my entire move with A.J. Brown because the coach is diddling an NFL reporter. How people would think that? Who gives a shit? Who's having sex with who? What makes my team better? And Marshall, you're under the impression the NFL gives a shit about morality. Cleveland hasn't won anything with Miles, and now they get a very young, already elite rusher in Verse and a one. Agreed. I completely agree. I think this probably also extends Matthew Stafford potentially another year. Unpopular opinion, at Garrett's age, Browns got the better end of this trade when all is said and done. That's a great take, and I don't mind you taking that. I said this. I think the Rams win the front end. I think the Browns could win the back end. But Phil, ask yourself this. When in the last 6 years have the Browns landed on a draft pick that's been good? Name me one. Name me one draft pick that the Rams have landed on that's been good. You're assuming the Browns will do the right thing and take a good player. If the Rams win, is Les Snead the best GM over Howie? I don't think one move dictates that. I think the Rams. I said this to Zander. Prior to coming on the air. I think the West Coast version of Howie is the Rams. They do a great job at building their roster. They do. Angelo Cataldi at 3:30, Gary at 4:30. We should know more a little bit about what A.J. Brown and the Eagles are going to do. And Big Z will follow up and do cleanup in the cleanup spot for all of this here today. Big news going on during the program as we had envisioned. Yeah, would you consider him a top-flight superstar player? I think Ward's good, though. I won't dismiss that. Okay? Let's see here. Sills, you think Howie is burning up the phone lines of other GMs? No, I think they're waiting till 4 o'clock. Sills, if the Raiders got a first and a second for Devontae Adams at 29, why can't Howie demand a 1 and a 2 for AJ from the Pats? I think he's getting that. I'm going to say 1 and 3, but it could be a 1 and a 2. I know this. He's getting a 1. The Philadelphia Eagles have gotten a 1 from New England. The question is, will another team come in and offer more before 4 o'clock? I'm hearing reports Gavin Newsom already spent the tax revenue from Myles Garrett's contract and is now personally asking the Rams to give him a raise. That's good. Hey, that's a pay cut there. Sills, today confirmed my decision on going back to school on this. They need more chicks like me in sports broadcasting. Go get it. I'm with you, Kim. Nolan Smith and A.J. Brown for Max Crosby. Raiders have no interest in that. Nolan Smith? I have no interest in Nolan Smith. Wow, very disappointing. Garrett was available and Howie could not make it happen. Well, now, no one is perfect. Howie got burned on this one. Hang on. You won a Super Bowl with Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham. I wouldn't wig out not having Myles Garrett. Let's ask this question. Who would you rather have? Myles Garrett or Vic Fangio? I'm going to take Vic. I'm taking Vic Fangio all day. I've won a Super Bowl with him without Myles Garrett. I don't need Myles Garrett. That would have been a luxury addition. You don't need that guy. I'd take Vic all day. So if I have Vic Fangio as my DC and I lose out and I get a guy at Jonathan Grenard that could get me 11 sacks, I'm good with that. I got Vic and Grenard. Okay. You see, because here, get this. Here's why. Vic makes every position and every level better. Vic Fangio is worth the first-round pick. How many people agree with me on that? If you were to trade Vic Fangio, would you get a one back for him? Say you traded coaches. You think you could have got a one back for him? If you ever just playing along here, you'd get a one for him, right? Well, I mean, there's value in having that coordinator. There's value in that guy building your defense. You guys, listen, I think it's a great move for the Rams, but I'm not crowning anybody on June 1. Absolutely no way. On paper, it looks spectacular. It looks unbelievable. Super Bowls aren't won on paper. Just not. I don't know. Sometimes you got to overpay to stop your competition from getting the prize. Hey, Brandon, the Rams have to get out of the NFC West. They're in a tougher division than you. They got to worry about San Francisco, and they got to worry about Seattle. First and foremost, you know why? They play both those teams twice a year. Exactly. Vic has the keys to the Lamborghini and knows how to drive it. Patullo didn't. Vic will maximize every player he has. Good take, Big Cells. Yeah, dude, I've seen you win with dudes with 7 sacks. Hang in there. Getting a guy like Myles Garrett would have been a luxury pick. And it would have been adding on to the wealth you have on defense. You know why Howie probably didn't make that move? Or if the Browns didn't? You know why? He knows he's got a ton of work to do on offense in the next 3 years. Look at all the guys he's got to replace. He's got to replace Lane. He's got to replace maybe Landon. He might have to replace a quarterback. He's got to replace AJ. Lemon's not replacing AJ. Sills is saying you don't need a big weapon when you have John Wick as your DC. Dude, you didn't have one when you won the Super Bowl. Barkley as well. Yes. Well, you might be right because when the Ravens got Henry, I thought it was Super Bowl and it was not. Correct. Let's see Howie go to Snead and say he will give him AJ and a 1 for Garrett. That's not happening. But appreciate it. We need some serious overhaul for offense soon. Yeah, by next year. Sills says Garrett in a Kelly Green, a jersey you might have been tempted to buy. That would have been tempting. Myles Garrett and Kelly Green, put it right next to Jerome's. Dude, that would have been a quite an addition. If the offense gets fixed, then, right, we don't need to sacrifice draft capital for Myles. And like you said, we have Vic for the defense. Rams have to win it now. Otherwise, it was a mistake. Yeah. I mean, dude, they're pushing their chips in because they know the candle is burning thin right now with Matthew Stafford. So look at this. I haven't even gotten over here yet to the topics. The NFC East will end up being a lot better than what people think right now. 3 playoff teams, calling it now. If you think that the NFC East is a better football teams than the NFC West, you don't have better coaches and you don't have better quarterbacks than the West. Seals, call me crazy, but I think the Eagles will take a chance on Peyton if Hurts shits the bed. Coley is a Mannion pick. Man, I didn't see him in college play well. All of a sudden, he's going to turn into something special in the NFL. I don't know. If he's so special, why'd he go so late? I'm not saying it can't it can't happen. Okay? Someone needs to educate that guy. You think Stafford has enough to get into the Hall of Fame? Yeah. 65,000 passing yards, over 400 or 500 touchdown passes, a Super Bowl ring. Yeah, I do. An MVP? Yeah. I do think that. Let me think here. Matthew Stafford. Let's see here. Stafford. 423 in touchdowns. 65,000 passing yards. An MVP. Super Bowl win. Yeah. I do think he does. I don't know first ballot. But I do think he's got a resume. AJ trade, probably not coming today. It would have been reported already. They're not waiting till 4 p.m. Brandon, the deal's already been done. People have been reporting that, if you've been listening to us. This deal's been done. I've got Stafford going in immediately. First ballot? Okay. Yeah, and that's why he'll be fired at the end of the year if he gets knocked out of the playoffs again. Seals, Coach JB was saying if Stafford wins another chip, he ranks him over Rodgers. Agreed? No. Rodgers is a better player than him. He knows better than that. He's more accurate. His statistics are better. Now, the 2 Super Bowls makes him multiple winner. And the MVP, I think Rodgers has got 4 MVPs. I'd still take Aaron Rodgers. How the hell did Caleb Williams get the Madden cover? Yeah, I saw that. Well, you could have had Hurts on it. I'm kidding. Carter was off the table for a Garrett per Ryan Fowler. Who the fuck is Ryan Fowler? Just a question. What's Rodgers' postseason record? I think 13-11. And I think Matthew Stafford's is 4-3. Something like that, 5-4. Aaron Rodgers, pure talent, best of all time. Probably so. Chicago is going to have a bad year now. I think a lot of teams in that NFC Central Division, the NFC North, I played in the Central Division. I think that's a really good division. If I had to rank the divisions in the NFC, I'd go West, I'd go North, I'd go East, and I'd go South. South is the worst. No, the Browns did not want Carter. You can believe what you want. I don't care. Aren't you the guy who always said, who the fuck is Mark Combs? Well, now you know. Okay? I actually like Mark Combs. I just said, who the fuck is that guy? You said Ryan Holmes. I've never heard of Ryan Holmes. Would you want me to lie? The fuck is Ryan Holmes? Hey, don't be so offended if I've never heard of you. Angelo Cataldi will join us at 3:30. Browns have a crap ton of recent draft capital. Do they finally turn it around? As long as Jimmy Haslam is their owner? I doubt it. I think it's fair to assume they're going to trade Carter and not extend him. They already decided. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Okay? Rams don't even need to win their division, but ensure they play on the road in the cold. I saw Bobby Valentine. Yep, speech was awesome. He said his success in Stanford was due to Lou Amarillo, who recruited him to the Cape Cod lead, and your uncle, Andy Robustelli, who got him the Dodger contract. That's right. Bobby V's my cousin. I played in that Cape Cod league, too, because of Bobby V. I played in that Cape Cod league with one of the greatest, with Jeff Bagwell. Let's see here. If you were going to sink a lot of money into a player, I'd be a star DT. Yeah, I'd be an edge rusher. I personally would pay Carter and deal with any issues he has. I ain't trading him, but looking like he's in every trade conversation. He's been in every single trade conversation. Yes. Doesn't that tell you anything about Jalen Carter? He's been in the Parsons contract talks. He's been in the Max Crosby. He's been now in the Myles Garrett. He's been in 3 trade conversations. How do you think, get this, how do you think that looks to a guy like a Drew Rosenhaus? That the Eagles have brought him up numerous times in trade conversations. You think that looks good or bad? Now, the quality of player that they're doing this with also speaks volumes to Carter's talent too, though. So you got to put that in context too, and you got to be fair to that conversation. Okay? You got to be fair to that. Big Sills, does a trade for Garrett falling through with Carter potentially in the deal now create a locker room issue? No, it's part of business. Sills, from what I've read on X so far, it sounds like Howie did not want to trade JC, but who knows? Yeah. I thought initially what I was told was that they initially offered AJ to the Browns. Browns said no. He came back with Carter, but the Rams came back with more compensation and Verse. Look, who's a better player, Verse or Carter? I think that's a coin flip. I do. I think that's a coin flip. I don't think that in any way that Jalen Carter is that much better of a player. I don't. Flip a coin versus a better character guy. Verse due to health, shoulders. Great take. I hadn't thought that. This one too, DT versus Edge. These are really good takes today, guys. Keep it up. These are really great takes. It was reported that Howie offered 3 firsts last year, so I wonder how the deal evolved to now. Good question. If the Rams don't win the Super Bowl, Browns win the deal. That's a take that's okay. Right. And who's paid? Wait a minute. What's this one? Not you, big guy. Senor. And who makes more money? Edge rushers. Happy Pride Month, Sills. You deserve it, big guy. I take great pride in my Hurricanes, my friend. Thank you very much, Sig. Eagles right to be afraid to pay Carter. Kim, got to hand it to you. Been talking about Myles Garrett being traded for days now. Fact, we tried to shop Carter 3 times now concerns me. It should. If Carter can stay healthy, I think he's more impactful. Look what Carter did to the Rams. He won us the game back-to-back plays. Without him, we don't have our second Super Bowl win. Listen, I think Verse and Carter, I think you can flip a coin. If you want Carter, fine. If you want to give me Carter, fine. I'll take both of them. I'll take anyone you don't want. I'm good with it. And plus, like you said, Jalen Carter had injuries all last year. Verse hasn't been hurt. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at Verse's couple of years in Jared Verse just to look at him. First team All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Pro Bowl every year. Last year he had 7.5 sacks, 17 ball games, and 60 tackles. It's pretty good on a good foot. He's a really good football player. And they got another kid in there named Fisk who's pretty damn good too. So, I don't know. I'd take Verse, give him Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith, guys, don't put Nolan Smith in a conversation with Jared Verse. Nobody has, dude, Nolan Smith has got the equity of a third rounder right now. You're still thinking he's a first round guy. Okay? If McVay doesn't make the NFC Championship game, he should be fired. Yeah. Guys won 100 games before the age of 40. Should be fired. There should be heat, though. I won't lie on that. Guess A.J. Carter and the first rounders were not enough for the Browns. Didn't like the offer. Was that even on the table? There's no way A.J. and Carter and a 1 was on the table. You're not giving that kind up. No way. You move on that anytime. A.J. Brown and Carter and a 1 to the Browns? The Browns become immediate, like, impact team because of the fact that you're adding so many good quality players. No way. No way. That would be way too much compensation for a guy like I'm not giving Jalen Carter and A.J. Brown in a 1 to the Browns for that. That's way over the top. Yo, Sills, you think Howie will now try to pivot? No, I don't. You don't need an elite pass rusher to win a Super Bowl. You proved that. Hang in there. Hey, don't be upset with a team buying a Ferrari and you didn't buy a Ferrari. You don't need a Ferrari on your defense to win a Super Bowl. You've proven that. You win a Super Bowl with Josh Sweat and Milton Williams. I mean, you don't need that. Odell makes the Giants a 6-win team. That's funny. Odell Beckham, he's still trying to work? Interesting. I don't think Harry R was ever going to trade for Garrett. Think you mean Howie was ever going to trade? That's not what's being reported now. Munkin saying he hadn't spoken to Garrett. That's right. And him not showing up to training camp. All of you guys yesterday were telling me that was a non-factor. I kept saying, keep an eye on that. Because there's some noise. What a big time deal here, man. Okay. Rams have pushed their chips in. And they want to, dude, in their opinion, if they win the West, okay, if they win the West, they feel they'll win the Super Bowl. Hey, did every team in the West have a playoff victory last year? Yeah. Rams won, beat the Bears. 49ers beat the Eagles. And the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Imagine that. Every single team out of the NFC West a year ago won a playoff game. That's who you got to beat. You got to beat those teams in the NFC West. Let's see here. If the Rams don't win the Super Bowl next season, the Miles trade is garbage. That's what the narrative will be. Won't mean shit, Sills, unless they stay healthy. Correct. I know the 49ers blew right by you in the playoff game. Sills, how many times have edge rushers been traded versus DTs? And look at the compensation that you get with those edge rushers compared to the DTs. We just signed another wideout. We can run 8 verts now and still have someone on the bench. You guys signed another wideout? I'd be looking coming up here in an hour. By the way, Angelo's going to join us, and he's going to give us his take on A.J. Brown being moved. He's correct. 49er game is ancient history. So is the record versus McVay. Ancient history. It's also funny the Browns restructured Garrett's deal a couple months ago and then tried to say, don't worry about it to the league. Once they restructured it and him not showing up to OTAs and burning $1 million, people should have been seeing that. And when the head coach said I hadn't spoken to him yet, something was in the works. All right. Eagles now, again, moving off of A.J. Brown and not having him in your offense. The loss of A.J. Brown will impact Jalen Hurts immensely. If you were 29th in passing with Brown, you're going to be better without him? Okay. On June 1, good luck to you. I don't believe that. If the Rams don't win the Super Bowl, they are absolutely a disgrace. The pressure on the Rams is seismic this year. With the moves they have made, right? Getting McDuffie, Mikey, no doubt. Right. You like your wide receiver room? You do? Well, who do you like? I'm awake. Who's your what? You like outside of Devontae, who was here? Who do you like in the wide receiving core? The rookie? Okay. I can't wait to see if he can play. Everybody. So you like everybody's cast-offs. Good. Okay. June 1. It's good to have that optimism. The fact that he hasn't played with an elite NFL quarterback, Hurts or Ryan Tannehill, leads me to believe a monster season with a great passing offense led by Drake May Hey, Godfather. Not only that, Josh McDaniels scheming him open. I mean, you got an offensive play caller that's one of the best play callers in pro football. We'll see. We've seen it. I've seen Josh McDaniels win Super Bowls. I've seen Josh McDaniels take lesser talent and then win. I've seen it. A.J. Brown will have a monster year with the Patriots. Correct. Correct, Sills. Dak's NFC East record is history, just like the Eagles' past record versus AZRA. Yes. AJ deactivated his X account because he knows the incoming is coming. Rams are going all the way this year. Surely looks like that on paper. Still sounded dumb. Every team has cast-offs. Your entire wide receiver crew is cast-offs except for your two guys you drafted. Sills, you said yourself, the offense needs more checkdowns and quick passes. The scheme should fix should fix that if Hurts gets the ball out of his hands quickly. So, Ricardo, for the first time in Hurts' career, he'll have a checkdown game. Okay. Why haven't they had that before? Under all the coordinators, including Shane. Now? Okay. Hey, look, it's June 1. You can make those proclamations. No question. Every single good wide receiver one that McDaniels has coached had good seasons. Moss, Adams, Marshall, and even Wash Diggs. Rasputin. And let's not forget, Amendola, Welker, Deion Branch. All those dudes were productive. Putting the quarterback in the right position. They had Brady. Well, Drake May went to a Super Bowl. Howie was really baking and shaking on the Garrett deal. I think so. If Hurts shits the bed, trade for Joe Burrow. Now that teams have seen the cost of Garrett, the next best DE is Crosby. Does someone finally pull the trigger on him and not back out like the Ravens? No. The guy failed the physical. No one's going to take that shot at throwing ones at a guy that's failed physicals. That's not going to happen. What are we so garbage sales? If you're saying the Eagles are garbage, I'm not saying that at all. Here, let's see what Prince. I haven't gone to some of these guys, but we had A.J. Brown and we're ranked 29th. The offense can easily improve. It can't get worse than last place. Prince. So you're going to improve with lesser players. Got it. Prince, how did you formulate that in your head? We're going to get better with lesser players. Or because you have more of them, you're going to be better. Okay. Hey, because we have 5 now versus the best. We're better now. Okay. Funny, when I brought that up, do you think your wide receiving room is good before and deep? And I always said no. Now it's deep. Now it's a thing. Okay. Scheme? A scheme that's never been implemented in a football game ever. Okay. We lost one player, Sills. He's the best offensive player in your huddle. Do the Pats have the leverage over the Eagles in the AJ trade? The Eagles are getting a 1. Okay? They are getting a 1. Here, coming out of some of the comments about the Myles Garrett and why they didn't want Jalen Carter. The Browns' desire for a young ascending pass rusher, Jared Verse, specifically shrunk candidate pool. Per team source, it was the Rams-specific deal because the Rams hounded Cleveland for a while. Myles Garrett did not request a trade similar to this past offseason. The team made the deal because due to the trade value. Don't sense this is a fire sale. Was told a hard no on Denzel Ward's availability, for the example. They would not want to trade Denzel Ward. And they wanted a pass rusher. They did not want a DT. Howie had put Carter's name in the mix. You can believe it or not. Jeremy Fowler reported that. They wanted an edge, not a DT. Howie offered the DT. They didn't want the DT. Wasn't anything about Carter. They wanted an edge. Believe it or not, I don't care. I watched the 25 highlights earlier today. We're definitely going to miss AJ. Absolutely. Feels like Howie been sitting on his ass. I don't think so. I think he's done a pretty decent job on defense. I don't sense that. I don't. Now, I don't really like the shit they're doing on offense, but I think they've improved the football team on defense. Corner, edge. I think it's a push with Gennard and with Phillips. And I think you did get better at corner. And you may have gotten more versatile at linebacker with Nakobe versus Jahad Campbell. We'll see. I don't think it was spectacular offseason when you lose AJ. Plus, why would the Browns want a DT? They drafted Mason Graham last year. Kyle. Exactly. Okay? But they wanted to put a guy next to him. No, you're right. That's another reason why the Browns didn't want Carter. Howie put Carter in the deal. He was in the conversation. Browns shot themselves in the foot. They could have gotten 3 first-round picks from the Eagles, or at least 2 plus Nolan Smith. Dude, this Nolan Smith thing is comical. You're not making a deal with Nolan Smith. Denzel Ward is a first-team All-Pro guy. Nolan Smith is an underachieving first-rounder. Drake May threw for near 4,400 yards with Diggs, Henry, and Kaishan, and Matt Collins. Now he's getting AJ, Romeo Dobbs. Easy 5K season coming. Hey, Bald Bear, I would also say this. Remember, you play in the AFC East, too. Patriots O-line also got better. In addition to new weapons, harder schedule, but they have a better roster. Yes, they may fall back in wins this year and be a better football team. The coping in this chat is at an all-time high. Seals, you know this fan base wants to trade Sloppy Joe sandwiches for surf and turf. Yeah, they think because Nolan Smith was picked number 1 as a first-rounder, he's got the same market value today. He's got a third-round market value. He doesn't have a first-round market value. He's not a bad football player. But Jalix Hunt was a third-round pick. So when you put up Jalix Hunt next to Nolan Smith, they look like the same guy. Nolan Smith was a Hunt is a third-round pick. They look like the same fucking guy. But you got that guy in the third. Well, Nolan Smith was a 31st or 30th player taken. and he looks like the third-round guy that I got out of, like, Houston Christian something? Use your brains. It's funny seeing Seahawks fans post clips of them shutting down Miles this year. They're in denial. They are in denial. Seals, I think Hurts and Mannion just might be a good tandem. The exception of Steichen and Hurts never felt comfortable with the other coordinators. They couldn't give him answers to their schemes. Sean does. We shall see. Mr. Hill, we shall see. And he was converted to edge, forgot the part. Yeah, no, he was a safety when he was at Colgate. Drama building. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. And right after Angelo Cataldi gets off, we will know if it's going to be a quick deal or not. Okay? Packers and Cardinals are now working on a deal to send Josh Sweat to the Green Bay Packers and put Sweat on the other side of Micah Parsons. Teams making moves in the NFC. What is going on here? Wow. Packers making a move to go get a 12.5 sack guy from the Arizona Cardinals. Josh Sweat and Micah Parsons playing together in Green Bay. Woo! Man, we getting some movement here. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to postseason and offseason moves. Okay? Good for Sweat. Dude gets nothing but respect for me. Good for you, Eduardo. Good for you, man. He's a good football player. How you doing? Sweat to the Green Bay Packers. Working on that deal. You imagine if they get that bad puppy done? And sending him for $19 million for a guy with 12 sacks. That's quite a steal. Oh, wait. The Eagles didn't want to sign that guy. That's right. Seals, would you rather have AJ to New England for picks and maybe a lesser wideout, or work a move with Vegas, delaying Crosby? Wide receiver for Fernando Mendoza. I wouldn't mind that. That wouldn't be horrible. That wouldn't be horrible. Rip Cowboys October 18th going up against Parsons and Sweat. Season's over. All this happening because Hurts can't throw. Man. I'm not mad at letting Sweat go. They tried to go younger like a lot of times and failed. Have there been any concerns with Parsons' recovery? Good question. I don't know that. Okay. Whew. Man. So here's the latest. Myles Garrett to the Rams for a 2027 first rounder, a 2028 second rounder, and a 2029 third rounder. Reports were Howie Roseman was in the conversation. First initially offered AJ up, then Jalen Carter. According to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, the Browns were more in the room to try to get an edge rusher, and that's why they went with the Rams pick. 4 o'clock Eastern today. We will find out if it's going to be a quick move with AJ to the Patriots. And also, the Packers are working on a deal to trade for Josh Sweat from the Cardinals to put on the other side of Micah Parsons. Teams are making moves. Howie's losing a premier player in A.J. Brown. How much impact will that have? Folks, make sure you do me a great favor and go over to angelocataldi.com. And I can't wait to talk to him about Jeffrey Lurie and his bubble. Or, excuse me, his new stadium that he's going to be trying to go after. And would he move that thing to New Jersey like the Giants? He ain't getting that thing built downtown Philly, I can tell you that. Without further ado, the man that knows Philadelphia more than anybody I've ever spoken to. He is our friend, the man himself, Angelo Cataldi. Thank you so much, Angelo, for joining us.
My pleasure, Dan. Lots happening today, huh? June 1st. We knew this day was going to bring a lot, but not so far for the birds. Not good. Not good at all.
What do you make of that, what the Rams did by going after? First, before we get to AJ, boy, I mean, they get Trent McDuffie earlier, too. They make that trade with Kansas City at him. And now they make a blockbuster trade in going and getting Myles Garrett. I know that we don't have a lot of years left with Matthew Stafford, but at least on paper, June 1, the Rams are the front runner right now to win the Super Bowl, right?
By a wide margin. I'm not sure they weren't ahead before this. Remove A.J. Brown for the Eagles roster, put Myles Garrett on the Rams roster. Come on. You can't. I mean, look, there are signs early on. One thing I've learned about Howie Roseman is you usually know pretty quickly if it's an all-in kind of an offseason or a back-off kind of an offseason. This is back off. This is where when the Brown thing becomes official, which wouldn't shock me if it happens within the hour, forget it. That they're nowhere near as good as they were last year. And the Rams have Garrett running around back there. Oh, my God. And the Packers look like they're putting together a hell of a defensive line. No, it's just this isn't going well. This isn't going well. And maybe this is what they figured. You can't win every year. You got to take a step back to take two in front. But this is bad, especially because we all know that Howie would have loved to add Garrett and tried really hard last year to do it. So, this is you're getting hits left and right now if you're an Eagles fan.
Do you think the Super Bowl window is now closed? Now, listen. Now, look at this, Angelo.
Yes.
2022, 3-4. That's a 3-year window that they had.
Yes.
The roster's not as good or better than 22, right. Is it?
Right. Yes. Here's the thing. When the Brown thing, when they trade A.J. Brown for what is more and more looks like a 2028 first-round pick. 2028. Right. All right. That's another. I may not be alive then.
I know. That's forever out.
Right. But here's the minute that becomes official, just listen closely and you will literally hear the window slam shut. Boom. Done. Now you've got an offense without a number one receiver. You're going to tell me they're going to try to tell me that Devontae Smith is the number one. He's not. Right? He's not. He's a great two. It's not a one. The minute he's a one, he's facing the best corner. He's small. The guy they brought in with the first round pick, he's even smaller. No, I'm sorry. You don't have it. All right. You got a guy calling plays who we don't even know if he can do it. I'll give you this. He sounds smarter than Petula.
Yes.
So does a ferret. All right. So that doesn't necessarily tell you that much. All right. But the fact of the matter is, no, I'm sorry. This is not going in the right direction. And the only people that think it does, it is going in the right direction are fans who can't see the obvious. It's sitting right in front of you. This is a big step back for the Eagles.
How did it get here, Angelo? How did this relationship go south like this between the Eagles and A.J. Brown?
Well, because he's a major pain in the ass. I mean, most receivers are divas. He's diva squared or triple three. He's a major diva. And clearly there's something going on between him and Jalen Hurts that is not positive. All right, clearly it's not. That's not a positive either. And the great irony of it all is that you have the one thing your head coach is supposed to be able to do is to smooth over these cultural breaches that happen and get it fixed so they could still coexist. He didn't do it. He failed. Sirianni, say what you want about Nick Sirianni, his sideline demeanor, the way he X's and O's a game, his input into the offense. He blew it. He didn't fix this. And now you're going to send your best receiver to another team at a time when people in your conference are getting better. You're not getting better. You're not getting rid of A.J. Brown and getting better. Unless Sean Mannion is Bill Walsh. Maybe if Sean Mannion is Bill Walsh, he's the next brilliant offensive mind. You're not getting better.
Are you saying
bet is on? No, you're not going to be better. You're going to be worse.
Angelo, are you saying then right now you blame Nick Sirianni for the exit of A.J. Brown and why he could not fix this relationship between the two of them? So then do you blame Andy Reid for not allowing that relationship to be fixed between Owens and McNabb?
Geez, that's going back away. Yeah, I guess I do. I don't know.
So it's a coach's responsibility of what I'm trying to get at to fix
I just want to deal with Sirianni because it's the only thing he supposedly is great at. All right? If he's great at that and you have to get rid of your number one receiver because he can't coexist in the locker room with the rest of the team, yes, I'm blaming Sirianni. Because if he can't do that, please tell me what he can do. What can he do? You watched the last play. You saw what happened. I had a great conversation a couple of days ago there with the great Ray Didiger. And Ray Didiger was on a freaking boat for 4.5 months going around the world. And he saw the game and he saw the last play. And Ray Didiger said to me, he saw more in the meeting on the sideline in that play than any play that happened the whole year, if not many years. He said, Sirianni stood there with the seat on the line. He said, yeah, let's let Patullo do this again. And Hurts got a lot of blame. Nobody blames Sirianni for not doing anything. Sirianni can't call plays. We all know that. His input into the offense has not been a positive. Does not appear. Seems you always have to bring somebody else in to save him. Defense, he's not involved. Special teams, he's not involved. He's a dumbass on the sideline. He makes a fool of himself every freaking game. He's supposed to be able to really get these players to get together and coexist and love each other. And now he's getting rid of A.J. Brown. I say to you again, then what does he do well? You tell me, Dan. What does Nick Sirianni do well?
I think he's a doorman. I mean, I really do. I think he's a doorman at a strip club. I just don't think that guy. Anytime, here's what I want my coach to be, Angelo. When there's a problem, I want problem solvers.
Yeah.
Okay. When front runners, anybody could be a front runner on a great roster.
Yep.
But when you have issues that you have to have answers to, like 23 and 25, and you don't have them, I'm sorry, man. You're then at the mercy of your coordinators on who they hire and bring in.
Yes, they are.
Okay? That's who he is.
The results say the coordinators determine the success of the team, not the head coach. When you got good ones, like when you have Moore and Fangio, you're going to win. You may lead the Super Bowl. Steichen, when he was there, I'm not including Gannon in that. He sucked. I'm sorry. Watch the Super Bowl if you don't believe me. But the truth of the matter is the Eagles are only as good as the coordinators they name because the head coach doesn't bring anything to the table, supposedly, except his ability to get all these disparate personalities to work as one. Well, guess what? Nobody in our city, Dan, is saying that the minute Brown walks out, which could be within the hour, that's a fail for Sirianni. Nobody's saying, but everybody told you for 5 years that Sirianni's brilliance is in clubhouse culture. Doesn't fit.
It's totally true. That's on the coach, dude. Because listen, to your point, You're 50-18 in 4 years. You're making $32 million. You've got 2 NFC title rings and a Super Bowl ring. Well, what's the problem?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you
Yes.
can land on and check and go like this unless you had a problem with the coach.
Yes, 100%. And if you have a problem with the coach needs to solve the problem. If you've got a problem with the quarterback, the coach needs to smooth that over. Not everybody played with everybody they loved.
That's right.
Sometimes it takes a maestro of psyches, somebody who can put it all together. We were being told it was Sirianni. Well, not this time. Not with Brown leaving. And now Garrett's in. The only thing they got going for them is they got a much easier schedule than I thought they were going to get. They're still going to somehow maybe eke into the playoffs, but they're not going to be a factor. They're not going to be in the top echelon.
Okay, A.J. Brown not being on the team, what kind of impact does that have on Hurts and his future here, in your opinion?
Well, be careful what you wish for, because that may be what Hurts wants. Hurts may want all these guys that are in sync with his thinking, 100% in sync with his thinking. 3rd and 8, look down the field. Is anybody 6'4", 220 out there ready to get a 50-50 ball? You got a guy like that?
Nope.
Guess what? Now you're going to miss that guy. Now you're going to really miss A.J. Brown. And look, I've said this before. I've been in Philadelphia for over 40 years. I've watched a lot of football. The most talented wide receiver the Eagles have ever had, in my experience, is A.J. Brown. And he's leaving. Better than Mike Quick. Better than Terrell Owens. But you name somebody, and I'll tell you, better than Harold Carmichael. He is the most talented receiver they've ever had. He can catch the deep ball. He can catch the first down ball. He wins the 50-50 battles. Except for the very end of the season, his hands were very reliable. You're not replacing that. Look at all these guys they're bringing in. All these guys they're bringing in is not a one that has any of what Brown brings you. Why do you think the Patriots are selling out to give it a first-round pick? Because they know, their coach understands what he brings to a team. Mike Vrabel had him in Tennessee. He knows what Brown can do.
Let me ask you something on how you think Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, has handled this whole thing with A.J. Brown. Because I made the comment, I said this, I went, if that was McNabb would have shit all over this and would have been even a bigger mess. I think, maybe you correct me if I'm wrong, I think Hurts has done the best he possibly could with a situation that he knew was deteriorating in front of him. Yeah. And he just played along with this thing here. Or maybe you think I'm wrong, Angelo. I thought he's done a good job. How do you think Hurts has handled this whole thing?
Here's the thing. I love Hurts. He could have done more here.
Okay.
But he's dealing with an almost impossible personality to deal with in Brown and a moron in his coach, Sirianni. He is. He's in an awful position. He won a Super Bowl, but he's not in a good spot right now. I would have loved to see him take the next step in leadership and said, I got to find a way to coexist here. I got to do this. I'm going to swallow my pride, whatever it takes. I got to work with Brown. I know he's a real jerk and he's so selfish and he's only about himself, but I got to figure that out. That's the next step in greatness for a player. And he didn't take that step. I'll acknowledge that, but I'm not holding him to blame for losing Brown when it becomes official very soon. I'm not the number one guy to blame on that. Number one is Sirianni because he couldn't fix it. And number two is Roseman, who gave up on it and didn't have a plan that would somehow replace it.
It's really wild how they've just surrendered.
Yeah, that's the story. That's the story, Dan. They surrendered.
They surrendered.
They said, we can't do it. They couldn't get Garrett. They're going to lose Brown. They're not going to be in the top 3 in their own conference anymore. They're not.
They just surrendered this whole thing. Angelo, you and I have had conversations about this numerous times, and I want to listen. I don't want to keep killing this here, but I had a cow last week. So last week, Nick Sirianni and Sean Mannion spoke in front of the media.
Mm.
Not one question was asked about even questions like this, Angelo. Hey, Sean, how do you think the new offense is going to look without Brown in it? How do you think when you were hired, you were initially told that A.J. Brown was going to be part of the personnel you had? And to Nick, what's the locker room going to be like without having a guy in the locker room, good or bad, with A.J.? How come zero questions were asked about? Isn't that the story today? Look at the story today. How can the Philadelphia media, which I was told was some of the toughest of all time, go back in the day? You, Howard, all these guys, Bill Conlon, all them dudes they were savages. Now I'm going like this. You couldn't ask one simple question about a story that's the biggest story today outside of Myles Garrett. What happened, Angelo?
All right. I would ask the question, but I'm not going to kill the people covering the team because after all these years, Dan, they have been conditioned not to get the answer. Let's play a hypothetical. Later today, Brown is gone. The next time they have a press access to the coach or the offensive coordinator, you think you'll get anything out of that? You think Mannion will go, I'll be honest with you, if I knew we weren't going to have Brown, I wouldn't have taken this job. You think you get that? You won't. You get Sirianni to go, man, now that Brown's out of there, we expect a much more harmonious clubhouse. We're going to have everybody pulling in the same direction now. Those would be honest responses. If they didn't feel that way, they wouldn't have gotten rid of Brown, right? So, yeah, you'll never get it. You get to a point as a reporter. It's like the people who had to cover Belichick. After 5 years of asking the most obvious question and never getting an answer, it may reach a point where you don't even bother to ask it anymore. And this group that right now that run the Eagles, they aren't going to give you any answer to any question that they don't want to give you an answer to. And if it doesn't shed positive light on the organization, they have been trained by their PR people to basically stonewall the question. So I guess I would still ask it. I'm not there every day to get stonewalled, but they wouldn't give you the answer, Dan, whether it's before or after the trade. They wouldn't give you the answer. Last week, they weren't going to tell you about life after Brown because it wasn't official that Brown was gone yet. And when he is, they're still not going to answer it.
I still think you got to do your job.
I guess so. You're right. You do. You do. And then you got to follow it up and make an ass of yourself and really. And then after the thing, Bob Lang, the head of the PR department, pulls you aside and goes, "What do you think you're doing there? You want me to call your boss? Want me to get you in trouble? Yeah, that kind of stuff." But at some point, then, if you're not getting any more blood out of the stone, you stop looking for it. And they're not getting any more blood out of the stone.
Jeffrey Lurie's place in this whole thing. I mean, how does he sit there in his perch and there on his throne looking down at everybody? And before we get to the stadium thing, how do you look down at all of his minions looking around going, hey, this is a good move for us letting A.J. Brown go. And it's a good look for, how he makes the comments all the time. Our objective is to gather great players and to keep great players. Yeah. Well, that thing just got shit to the bricks there. And you're looking down. Where's his place in all this here?
I don't even know if you realize it. You just framed the perfect question for Howie Roseman. The perfect question. Howie, you have espoused the philosophy that you are in the business of bringing in great players. How do you justify for the fans getting rid of the best receiver you've had? Boom. There's almost no way not to answer that. You almost have to. Well, we think we have great players. No, you're losing one. You're just subtracting one. You're not bringing another one in. At the very least in 2 years where you get a first-round pick. You're not. For 2 years, you're less of a team because you're getting rid of your best receiver. How do you justify that with your philosophy? That would be how you would ask the question. Howie is more inclined to give you a fair answer than you'd ever get out of Sirianni. Everything's rehearsed with him. You might get an answer out of him. Like, once in a while, you just got to do what's right for the betterment of the psyche of the team. That would probably
Angelo,
be his answer.
all your years covering the team, do you think there'll be a follow-up presser after Brown is gone? Do you think they'll
No.
get to try to move around the narrative?
No, they won't. They don't move around negative narratives. They steer away from negative narratives. But there'll be opportunities. There's always they're in OTAs. There's training camps not that far away. Obviously it's going to be the AJ Brown story is going to hover over the entire season.
Oh, yes.
Because every time there's a third down play and you're looking at two little shrimps running out there at wide receiver who are so small you can't see them, and you don't have Jeff Stoutland there. So the line, I'm not expecting the line to be a hell of a lot better than it was last year. So let me just put it this way. I wouldn't want to be Jalen Hurts this season. I think it's going to be a really hard season for Hurts without his best target and without Stoutland telling him how to block. Good luck. You better hand the ball to Saquon and hope he finds a hole. It's going to be a hard year.
Angelo, so you'd be surprised how many Philadelphia Eagle fans are giving Sean Mannion the benefit of the doubt. And I'm like, why?
Because the media is. Because the media never questioned Patullo a year ago. The only place you heard Patullo being questioned was on your show and when I came on your show. Where else were you getting it? Even now, the guy is in Miami now. He's shuffling papers, whatever the hell he's doing.
No, he's taking victory laps, saying how he built the offense down there.
But meanwhile, no one has written yet the column that Kevin Patullo was a disaster. No one said it. No one's done it. I haven't heard it. I haven't seen it nowhere. I guess they're waiting. I don't know. So Mannion comes in and go, well, you can't be as bad as the other guy. I'm more positive about Mannion than I was about Patullo.
You know why, Angelo? Angelo, you know why they can't rip Kevin Patullo? Because if they rip Kevin Patullo, that means you're ripping Nick Sirianni's decision-making on going down the same lane twice in a row. Right. And it would cast another eyeball on Nick's decision-making if this thing fails.
That's why right now, Ruben Frank over at NBC Sports Philadelphia, he's loading up some new stats on how great Sirianni is. He's probably got some stats about how Sirianni is actually a better coach when he doesn't have a number one receiver. Let me show this one here. Yeah, it's softer here now, Dan. If you didn't notice, it's a little softer.
Yeah. My God Almighty, you guys were hawks. These guys are sparrows. That's what it is right now.
If I had to do it again, I'd be tougher than I was. My only regrets are the times I didn't engage.
No. You know what I think your biggest mistake was?
Hard enough.
You know what I think your biggest mistake was your final week?
Yeah.
Killing that guy more, Sirianni, on the way out.
Well,
I knew it.
Tried to. I was too busy killing Gannon. That friggin' game? Did you see the second half of that game?
Well, he was. I didn't really see him too much because he was house hunting in Arizona at the time, looking for a home.
Yeah,
before he got the gig there with the Cardinals, right?
He had Zillow up on the iPad.
Yeah, and he was looking Scottsdale or North Phoenix. What do you think? Where should I go? I go like this, right? Okay, now I got to get to the beautiful gem here. So, your owner, okay, is he really going to go to the citizens of Philadelphia and go, I think I'm going to need a new stadium, which is probably going to be $2.3 billion, $2.4 billion in tax money that is going to come out of that. I think I've been to Lincoln Financial like 7-8 times. I think it's compared to what you had with the vet, it's like the moon and the sun.
Yep.
You need renovations. So at the end of the day, do you think he's going to come to the city and ask him for a new stadium?
I called it in my thing today, Lurie's Folly. All right, because this, and you understand what triggered this for me was the governor, Josh Shapiro, held a news conference last week where he did everything but drop to his knees and kiss Lurie's ass right on the podium. All right. Listen, we're putting aside $30 million in infrastructure to improve the traffic patterns around the sports complex, right? Jeff Lurie, he even says at one point, Lurie is not moving. The Eagles are not being moved. You're damn right they're not being moved. I watched them try to do it 40 years ago, and they did everything but string up the owner, Leonard Toews. Nobody's touching the Eagles in Philadelphia. Don't worry about that. It's not an issue, right? It's not an issue. Jeff Lurie doesn't actually own the Eagles. The fans own the Eagles. Leonard Toews found that out the hard way when he tried to move him to Phoenix for a few
So this
days.
won't be something like we're seeing in
No,
Chicago
This is
or
bull
seeing
crap.
in Kansas
They're not
City.
going to Jersey. They're staying in the sports complex. And my argument was this. I think I have a pretty good read on the fans. There's no simpler way to say it. I wouldn't be able to say this on my show, but I'll say it here. The fans don't give a shit whether there's a Super Bowl in Philadelphia unless their team's in it. There has never been more of a meat and potatoes sports city in America than Philadelphia. They care about one thing, their team's winning. You understand? All the other stuff is about the egos of the people who own the teams or the politicians that are surrounded. That's all. The fans just want their teams to win. They want a great team. That's all they're looking for. So this whole next week or so, we got the World Cup coming here. No one gives a damn. You know, it's all a media thing. No one. The fans are. You think these fans want to pay $5,000 to watch a soccer game?
Absolutely not.
It's full. Then the next month is All-Star game. 250th anniversary of the country. No one gives a shit. So this is not about the fans dying to be the host city for a Super Bowl. It's about Lurie's ego, which is run so amok now that after 22 years, with one of the best facilities in sports, the Link is a great stadium. Yep. He wants a dome so they can play a game there once every 8 years. How many times are you going to get a Super Bowl? They need that for that. What he wants is this. And no, he's not going to ask the city for money. He's going to finagle that around. He's going to get a lot of favors and stuff. Then, if he were to get the new stadium, oh my God, PSLs, forget what you're paying now for PSL. It'll be 5 times more. Luxury boxes? Guess what? I told in this piece I wrote today, Joe Banner, when they opened the Link 22 years ago, he hated us, so he despised us, but was so proud of the Link that he took us on a guided tour. The president of the Eagles took my show, which did nothing but rip his team every day, on a guided tour of the Link. And when he got to the whole tier that's luxury boxes, if you listened closely, you could hear cha-ching in the cash register. And look at this. Private parties right here in the concourse area. It's even carpeted. Oh my God, is that beautiful? Feel that.
So wait a minute here. So you're telling me then what's going to happen is that they're going to take the seats away from the fans and the new corporate boxes, new corporate, they're going to make more corporate boxes.
Oh, really?
And take away what the true Eagle fans are, the community civic pride thing. And that's what they're going to do here.
Dan, name me a new stadium that hasn't done that.
No.
They all do it.
Get this, Nashville right now, Angelo, the stadium that they're playing in, the Titans, has 69,000 fans. The brand new one, has 60 that they're going to play in. And you know why? They've expanded the corporate boxes.
Wow, I'm shocked. Really? Wait, you're telling me that these billionaires that own these teams want even more money? Really? That's so surprising.
Will Lurie get it?
That's a great question. I would say no. I would say that is not very high up on our list of priorities in either the city or the state of Pennsylvania. I would say he's going to end up settling for some other stuff. He already got his first little gift last week with the new traffic work they're going to do to make it so much easier. It's not, by the way, Dan, it's not that bad right now. I hate to tell people.
I've been down there. I
love
that
places
down there. Yeah.
Of all the stadiums, NFL stadiums, it's top 10 for traffic in and out. Top
Dude,
10.
I can land 70 helicopters in that lot there. I'm good, right?
So, I think he's probably leveraging it to get some other stuff that he wants, because when you're a billionaire, you never have enough.
That's right.
It's a folly. It's stupid. And if they ever held a referendum for it, it wouldn't get 20% of the votes. Wouldn't get 20% of the votes. It wouldn't. People don't care about that stuff. Here's what you do. You go, you want a Super Bowl here every 8 years? It will cost you some more tax money, but it won't be that much. You won't. And if you want to actually go to a game, well, you're going to have to take out a second mortgage. I'm sorry. You can't have everything. No, fans don't want that. The link is fine. It's excellent. We got Citizens Bank Park, terrific. The link, terrific. We don't need any more stadiums. We're already building another one for Joshua Harris at the Sixers.
Milton Williams is out on Twitter right now, and he's basically welcoming in AJ Brown.
Well, this secret's not keeping too well, is it?
Nope.
It's
Howie's getting a
inevitable.
one. Howie's getting a one now.
Just remember, the minute it's official, listen closely. You will hear the window of opportunity slamming shut for this era of Eagles football. They will not be as good. It will take God knows how long to find somebody who can actually play the way AJ Brown plays, and things are going downhill.
I want to end this with thanking you. It was one of the most gracious things you've ever said, and I want to thank you. One of the greatest things that's ever said, especially from somebody like you. Mike North from Chicago even mentioned it, saying that's quite a compliment. And I wanted to thank you very much on your blog, because I mean, my friendship with you means so much right now. And I wanted to thank you, Angelo, for those comments and those words. Thank you.
Well, all I said was that you kind of jogged my thing into thinking who the face of Philadelphia sports is right now. And you were right. Kyle Schwarber. I can't pronounce the name. Kyle Schwarber is the face of Philadelphia sports right now. And I know who isn't. AJ Brown.
Boy, that's for sure. Make sure you check. That's right. Make sure you check out AngeloCataldi.com. He has it up there.
Totally
free.
Just something like when I was on the radio, no charge.
Make sure you go there to the fabulous Angelo Cataldi blog at AngeloCataldi.com. We'll catch you soon, Angelo. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, brother. All right. Yes, sir. Yeah, so Milton. Woo! We getting about ready to get some news here on old AJ Brown, baby. Hey, man, we about ready. We coming down the lane here. Milton just confirmed it. He posted Batman photo. Let me see Milton Williams, man. Hang on here. Milton Williams. Let's get Milton. I love me some Milton Williams too. Okay. Where's my boy Milton Williams? Milton Williams. Woo! Hey. What in world is that? AJ. What's he saying? Yes, sir. Holy cow. If Banyan's scheme can get his players open and Jalen can adjust properly with this defense, our Super Bowl window is still open. Sills. Milton, another player we shouldn't have lost. Wait a second. I thought AJ wasn't being traded. Look, the impact of AJ Brown being traded will be felt with that football team. And I don't give a shit what people think when it comes to saying he won't have an impact on that offense. You're right. If your offense is 23rd and you got AJ Brown, you think it's going to be better with lesser players? Yeah, okay. Sure. Hey, that's a way of looking at it. The Eagles have a good team. These guys want me to put on a suit and go to a funeral. No, I didn't say that. AJ will be amazing in New England. 1,500, 13 TDs, and about 115 catches this year. That's inbound. Seals, any hope for the Eagles in the next 3 years? You got to completely redo your offense over the next 2. You're going to lose Barkley in the next 2 years. You're going to lose Lane in the next 2 years. Landon in the next 2 years. You might lose the quarterback in the next 2 years. You don't know what Cam Jurgens is going to look like in the next 2 years? I don't know. You tell me. Bill should have traded for AJ. DJ Moore? No more straitjacket and AJ to bail out Jalen. See here. AJ cost an NFL playoff game. Of course, not the quarterback, though. Tomorrow, Howard Eskin will join us at 4:30. Hold on here. I'm getting some more news. Incoming. Hold on. Incoming. I'm getting reports that AJ's been traded. And he's been traded to the New England Patriots as advertised. Jalen was doting guys in that 49ers game. We're dropping hot potatoes. Jules, you think they're going to let the news out after your show? Probably. It is a 1, though. You're getting a 1. You are getting a 1. My phone is blowing up right now. Let me look at this. Let me ask one question to an NFL executive. Is the deal official? I just asked if the deal is official. Okay. Is the deal official? And we're talking to the New England Patriots right now. So just to keep it real right now. And we'll let you know here. Hurts quit first, actually, but y'all don't want to admit it. See here. AJ did quit on the Eagles. Would not want him if I was the Pats. Yeah, okay. Why are you so shocked when his player evaluation told you he gets disengaged? He turned his back on us. We're going to punch his face in. Oh, geez, really? Don't get mad over spilt milk here, guy. It's only business. He's a Pats fan and loves our coach, quarterback. He hates your coach and quarterback. Don't get it. Let's see here. Rams and Pats in the Super Bowl again this coming season. AJ was paid to be great and cried. AJ was great and cried. He had an opportunity in the playoffs, and he performed. Went to 2 Super Bowls and won one. But not the regular season playoffs to be the guy. He didn't do it. That's fucking absurd. He did do it. That's misguided. The Pats better win the Super Bowl. I think the Pats and the Rams have big pressure on them. Man, we got some shit going on here now. He makes the Patriots better, and the Eagles got worse offensively. I don't dress it up any way you want. I don't care. You got lesser in talent. Okay? You got less of a talented offensive attack today. You could disagree all you want and think that Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, and Dontavian Wicks and all these guys are going to pick up for the production. We'll see. You don't have a productive quarterback. And I'll say it one more time. You've not had a good passing game in 5 years. It's been sometimes good. It's been sometimes awful. It's been okay at times. It's never been consistent. In 5 years. 5 years. It's never been consistent. That's a fact. Let's see here. Keep checking my. Okay. Hey, you know what they should do? The Eagles should sit there and they love the kid. Why don't they give him a contract extension? Why don't they give him an extension? If you love him so much. If Hurts runs, he's solid, but he won't, so he sucks. Quit the smear campaign and an actual good player like AJ. Correct. It's true. Hurts runs, he's a really efficient and good football player. Hurts doesn't run, he's a below average passer. That's not a take. That's reality. Seals, who do you think won the Browns and Rams trade? I said it earlier. I think it goes more like this. I think the Rams front end are going to get the benefit, and maybe the Rams or the Browns in the back end of that deal when Miles starts losing some of his talent. Maybe the Browns win it in the end, but up front, I think the Rams got this. Hurts sucks. He can run to some other team with that below average nonsense. I don't think Hurts sucks. I'm not going down that lane. I am not. I am not going down that lane. I am not saying that. Okay? Not happening. Brandon Marshall had like 1,300 yards with Kyle Orton throwing him the ball. Giving Jalen credit for AJ stats is stupid. Wait, we didn't get Miles? Howie must be smoking crystal freaking meth now. Bro, I don't think getting Miles and you not getting Myles Garrett, I don't think that in any way shaped your football team in a different way. I think losing A.J. Brown does. That would have been a luxury addition, getting a guy like that in the building. By the way, I appreciate it very much. all the platforms right now, over 1,000 people watching, and we appreciate you guys in here. Thank you. Thank you very much. So you think Hurts sucks, but I didn't say, so I will stop reading that because I never said Hurts sucks. What do you do with a great RPO quarterback that won't run? You don't extend them. To Dallas for their well, sad day for Eagle fans because they are better with AJ, but the show goes on. Correct. And I happen to agree with Angelo 100%. That's on, hey, what? So the Eagles just surrendered by giving up on AJ Brown. Really? You just gave up. You just gave up for a first-round pick in 2028 for AJ Brown. And you're installing a new offense. I'm sorry. You just quit on that. Howie and the head coach. You just quit on that? You didn't want to make it better? You know for a fact you're not better without that guy. How stupid can you get? And the narrative that people have that you're going to be somewhat fucking better, where are you getting that from? With unproven players. And an unproven OC. Keep holding out, kid. Look at the bright side. At least Miles didn't go to Dallas. Hey, Kyle. And if you're the 49ers, Kyle, think about this. If you're the 49ers and you're Seattle, how are you feeling right now with Myles Garrett in your division? Not good. Not good. If you're those teams, you're not feeling very happy right now, okay, about Myles Garrett being in the NFC West. Let's see here. Look at this guy. They're fleeced on giving up the 31st pick in the draft as of right now. And if the Patriots go back to the Super Bowl, it'll be the 30th pick. They're fleeced, like a second rounder. That's fleeced. Yeah, okay. Especially if we'll see who has a better year. You see, where's that guy? If the New England Patriots have a better season and AJ has an all-pro season and they go far in the AFC playoffs and the Birds don't go far and they get knocked out and the offense sucks and the coach gets fired, we'll see who got fleeced. We didn't give up. We just don't want AJ to unfocused in Philadelphia, costing us another game. That's absurd. Super Bowl hangover. Sills, where's the Coca-Cola and the popcorn? It's nearing completion. AJ isn't having an all-pro season. He quits. You mean on those 2 Super Bowl runs? Greatest era of football in Eagle history by a wideout? You're looking at one game. How crazy is that? I heard people today on the air saying this, that all of that, again, and throwing shade on AJ is crazy. All right. We just had Angelo Cataldi on with us. And as we're talking, I'm keeping an eye on it. And we have reported that it looks like there's no question the Eagles are getting a 1 back. And we're waiting to see when they're finalizing it with New England right now. So without further ado, I want to bring in my guy, Gary Cobb, here right away here and get his takeaway. First and foremost, before we do that, I want to get his thoughts on the Myles Garrett to the Rams. So let's bring in Gary Cobb now. Appreciate all of you coming aboard to see if we can get G Cobb up. G Cobb, before we talk AJ here, and we're waiting on the pending closing of the deal here with the New England Patriots, what was your takeaway that the Rams went out and made such a blockbuster deal here? They finalized the deal. They sent Jared Verse a first-round pick in 27, 28 second-rounder, and a 2029 third-round pick. What's your takeaway on the Rams getting Myles Garrett?
It's an amazing move. It is a championship type of style of move, and I would have to say they are definitely the favorites. Myles Garrett is a great player and everything, and I like it in a way for the Eagles, though. I kind of like it. You know why? Because it puts them on the block. They got to step up, and I know that Lane Johnson, who is getting near the end of his career, health wise, he wasn't at the workout that they had as a team last week. I was over there; he wasn't there.
Gary, it's now official.
Yeah,
AJ Brown has been traded to the New England Patriots, and it's the Patriots for a 2028 first-round pick and a 2027 fifth-round pick. And this is the better of New England's 2/5. The deal has been speculated on for more than a couple weeks here. Wow. So AJ Brown is officially been traded to the New England Patriots.
Oh boy, man!
They got back a 2028 first rounder and a 2027 fifth rounder. What's your takeaway on this right now?
I was hoping that, you're talking 27. I thought they would, I was hoping that they would be talking 27, 28,
a fifth rounder and not a 1 and a 3 or 1 and a 2.
I'm not crazy about that. Come on, you want to try to win now? What, 28? AJ's going to be playing now. You want to get a pick right now. I don't like that. I don't like it. No.
A first round pick for a team that was in the Super Bowl that could be again in the AFC Championship game, which would mean you're going to get a 30th pick back in 28, or depending on what happens in 28. I don't even know yet. That's miles away. And a fifth round pick.
I'm not crazy about that.
Boy, that's a shitty play by Howie.
Yeah, it's not a good one. It's not good, man. I don't like that. This guy's ready to play now. The big thing is he's ready to play now. Tell him, look, we're sending you a guy that he's going to hit the field. I mean, you guys are making this trade, but somebody's going to come in and help you. And the Eagles are making a play, for a guy who, fifth round next year. And then after that, you get a first round the next year after that.
You're waiting for 2 years to get your compensation back?
No, I'm not. I don't like that part of it. I could tell out there last week though that they're definitely AJ's gone because, all the receivers they got out there. They've got a bevy of receivers. And I see that they're going to be spreading the ball around and everything. I think they're going to be all right. Just with the putting in the offense, there was a pretty good flow initially. I know you're going against the defense, but the Eagles' offense did pretty well, especially with Jalen under center and everything. There was a good flow. He was getting the ball out of his hands. They're just playing, standard defense and all that. But, the offense looked good. I mean, he's getting the ball to Devontae. It was Devontae, and he's throwing the ball to the rookie, even though, rookie put one arm on the ground. I know he doesn't drop a lot of balls.
Hey, Gary, one thing on this deal, too. It looks like this deal had been placed, and it's been like we reported that this deal was done about 2 months ago. All of a sudden, the New England Patriots PR department already is out with videos and all kinds of stuff. This thing was in place a long time ago, man.
Come on.
How did we get here, Gary? How did we get here where Angelo said this about this? he blames Nick Sirianni for not fixing the problem by trying to keep A.J. Brown here. What's your take on that?
Well, I thought they didn't, just go and deal with it, face to face, where you get the guys in a room, you talk. Just hearing Jalen talk last week, and he's talking about, he hasn't talked to the guy. Come on. I mean, you haven't talked to him since the season? Well, that's the case. You're talking about a receiver and a quarterback. Things aren't good. You can't say things are good. You guys haven't talked since the season? You know that there's a bad vibe because you talk to your teammates, especially the guys, if you got your quarterback and a wide receiver. So they knew this was happening, and then they were, there's a gap between them. And I thought it was nonsense. Come on. You can sit down with AJ. Look, we can't get the ball to you every play, dude. Come on. We got other receivers. I mean, are you that much better than Devontae? I mean, come on. I mean, don't you have that talk with them and say, look, I don't know that it seems like they didn't have any kind of talk with them.
How about this? How much of an impact do you think A.J. Brown not being in that offense will have on the quarterback moving forward, going into this new season, and with a new first-year play caller?
It's hard for me to say. They were not flowing together well last year. So, but I could see where, I'll tell you this. It seemed like, like I said, Jalen was, and this is just a workout against the team and everything, and they're just in the shorts. But I think he likes what they're doing. They're going to have a lot of, they have receivers, though. See, this is the thing. They have gone out and gotten guys. You see why they were going out. I mean, they got deep threat, and was the Hollywood Brown. They got a deep threat. They have some outstanding guys that are going to be running routes underneath there, So,
Gary, I'll tell you, I think all those names are good, but yeah. I don't know if they're going to replace the production of what this guy brought in and presence of what this guy brought here.
Like him.
There's nobody like that guy, right?
What's that?
There's nobody in that offensive wide receiver group like that guy now.
There's nobody. No, there's nobody. No, they don't have anybody like that. No. That's
let me go here with you on this. I mean, I want to go back to it again. A one in 2028 and a fifth rounder. You're not getting any help now.
I'm not. Come on. The guy would have played for you this year. He's going to play for New England this year. He's going to play for them this year. And you get a guy in 28. Not even 27. 28.
In a fifth rounder in 27.
Come on.
I mean, you get you lost a great. At least you did this, Gary.
Yeah.
When you lost Jalen Phillips, you went and got Jonathan Grenard.
Yeah.
When you went and lost A.J. Brown, you added a rookie. I mean, the rookie may be great and all, but he's going to take time to develop, is he not?
That's right. Yeah, he's going to take time, and he's not the type of imposing receiver like A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was an imposing receiver on defensive backs because he's bigger and more physical than them, and that's one thing. You didn't see any. I could look at the whole season and how many times did I see a receiver up there jamming A.J. Brown, delaying his release? Really, no. He's an imposing figure against the defensive backs of the league because he's big and physical. So from that standpoint, you don't have but so many guys like him in the league. Where you got a guy that big and that physical and everything. So that's something they're going to have to. I don't know. We'll see. But I think their offense is going to be all right. I mean, but of course it's so early, and we will see. But
Angelo just texts me and says the Super Bowl window's closed. Do you agree?
I couldn't say that soon. No, I couldn't say that. Come on. even though, you see what the Rams have done and everything, I tell you, the Eagles got a good football team. They have got, like you just mentioned, Grenard. Dude is a specimen.
He's a good player. I agree.
He if he's healthy and everything, you got him coming off that corner. They got some good football players. You got Jalen. Jalen Carter has been working out, and Jalen Carter can be a great player. He has shown he can play, and if you got him healthy and you got him and Jordan Davis in the middle of defensively there, you got some good players. And I don't think anybody has a better secondary than the Eagles. Their secondary is as good as anybody in the league. You add Rick Woolen, to already you got, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, and, you got the safeties back there, but I think they have as good of a secondary as anybody in the league. And I think, we'll see how they do. They got a lot of work to do, but I think the Eagles, I think they're going to be in a hunt. They're not going to just roll over to the Rams. The Rams are definitely the favorite. You got to give them that. But
I would even say this, Gary, every team in that NFC West, man, people are in here going like, well, they got Myles Garrett because of, the Eagles. No, they got Myles Garrett because of the Seahawks and the Niners.
That's right.
Now, here's what I look at. You lose A.J. Brown and the Rams gain Trent McDuffie and Myles Garrett this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with you on Jonathan Grenard, but Jonathan Grenard and Woolen is not McDuffie and Myles Garrett being added to that football team.
Yeah, I would grant you that. They're a step down. Yeah, they're a step down.
But I want to make it clear that's what the Eagles have. That's not awful. I'm not saying that. That's really good. Yeah. But what the Rams have done, they've added 2 all-pro players.
True. You're right. They're going to be the favorites. There's no doubt about that. They are the favorites, and I think the Eagles are the one thing that the outside chance that they could spoil it. If they play at the level that we hope they do, but they got a lot of work to do, man. You're talking about a lot of work because their offensive line, the way they played last year, that was horrible. The guys weren't healthy, and we got to see, are they going to have a healthy offensive line? And I gotta take my hat off to Saquon Barkley though. There are a lot of running backs. You wouldn't have heard the end of them talking about, hey, the blocking in front of them. He never did that to them. He never went after those guys. He was a teammate. Even though, like, how many times he get tackled in the backfield? He got 3 guys tackling him in the backfield, but he never said anything. He never did anything to point any fingers at the line or anything. And I give him credit for that, because that's that wasn't an easy thing to do. And then people going, what's wrong with Saquon Barkley? What's wrong with Saquon Barkley? Nothing. Got 3 people in the backfield when he gets the ball. Come on. And I thought that the way everything worked out, because they kept those guys in there as bad as they were. They kept them in there. They played, and they didn't change them, which.
We got a lot, Gary. We got a lot of folks that are going to be jumping on the program here, so I'm going to ask you a couple more questions here.
Okay.
So let's go here with this. In your opinion, you don't believe that the Super Bowl window's over with, and you do believe that they have enough in the tank to compete and get to that NFC Championship game, in your opinion, this year? You believe that?
I think, of course, a lot of good things got to happen. To just say that right now, you couldn't just say that right now, because they're question marks. Those question marks have got to be thumbs up. I don't know that they are, but I wouldn't just roll over right now, because, come on, the Eagles have a lot of good football players. They have got a good core. If their line is healthy, if their offensive line is healthy, which is going to be a key, if they can run the ball on anybody, then I'll tell you, you still cannot mark them out. With a good defense and a running game, with just that alone, you can play against anybody. So we'll see. But right now the Rams are clearly the favorite, no doubt about it. I would definitely say that they very clearly are the favorite, especially with the way they played last year and the way they moved the ball. They're going to be tough to beat, no doubt about that.
Gary, listen, we got a bunch of people coming up because of AJ being dealt here, and I can't thank you enough here.
I'll be checking it out, man, because man, that just, boy, see that guy walk away like this,
Walk away like that with no compensation for 2 years. He's crazy, crazy, crazy. G Cobb, we'll catch you next week, my friend.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
You got it. That is Gary Cobb. Let me give you my initial takeaway here on this too, here, what we're doing and what we're looking at here. So you're not getting any compensation for AJ Brown for 2 years. You get a fifth next year, which is a nobody pick. You allow a guy to walk out the building. The Rams in the offseason add Trent McDuffie and they add Myles Garrett, and you've lost 4 starters. Woolen and Grenard are not McDuffie and Garrett. You're not even in the same planet. You're not even in the same planet. You're not in the same planet. And for that organization to allow A.J. Brown to walk out the building for something that I may get in 2 years is absurd. You were fleeced, Howie Roseman. Your Super Bowl window is closed. It is closed. Your window is closed. Later, over, done, rebuild, all of that. That is a horrible deal. A pathetic deal. Something that I might get in 2 years from now? What a terrible deal. Howie Roseman got his pants taken down and spanked over this deal. Shit, Jalen Waddle got more, and he's a lesser of a player. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. What a pathetic deal. And you let that guy walk out the building. And I will agree. How did it get here? The Eagles just surrendered? They had no fucking leverage. The Patriots got the leverage. Congratulations. Elliot Wolf, you beat the shit out of Howie Roseman. Congratulations. Signed, sealed, delivered. Window closed. 8 and 9. Mark it down. 8 and 9. Mark it down. Mark it down. And you floated Jalen Carter's ass out, and the Browns still said no. By the way, you're fucking welcome. Patriots, 1,000%. How you doing? Boom. January 7th, we first initially told you this deal was happening to the Patriots, and it was no other team. This was not happening. Have you seen the social media responses by the Patriots? They've been waiting for this for fucking months. They've been waiting months for this to happen. This deal, when I get this, and when I told you guys this deal was done, you don't know that. You don't. Look at A.J. Brown. The wait is over. He's got a picture of number 11. The wait is over. A.J. Brown. That guy took that fucking picture weeks before. Look at that. A.J. Brown. All smiles. Now he's with a fucking quarterback that can get him the football. All smiles. Playing for his dreamboat team. How you doing? Damn. Damn. Super Bowl window fucking slammed. Good night. What an offseason. This doesn't get any fucking more newsy. Sills, how do you think Verse feels about today? Going home, not bad. Being on a shitty team, awful. What the fuck would Buffalo not swoop in and offer the 2028 first round? Because this deal had been done. That it looks to me like they hooked AJ up. And a 27th fourth round would beat the Pats. But Buffalo, put him in Buffalo. Bean is an embarrassment. Mikey, not a bad take. Now Sill's going to shit on it. Here comes the Rams, best ever, I told you. No, I said the Rams made a move for two fucking all-pro first-team guys. You made a move for a guy who had 3 sacks, and you lost AJ. Yeah, you're right, Marshall. You got the better end of that. No, he's right. Jonathan Grenard and Woolen and Myles Garrett and Trent McDuffie. No, you won that. Sure. Rebuild said last year I would have benched AJ's ass. No, you're right. You got the better end. Hey, the Eagles won. Between those two players, the Eagles won. No, Tariq Woolen, who lost his gig, and Jonathan Grenard versus Myles Garrett and Trent McDuffie. No, you're right. You won. Deal was done 2 months ago. Like we told you. 2 months ago, this deal was done. 2 months ago. 2 months ago, this deal was done. I'm not going to that guy. You kidding me? At least they don't have to deal with the headache anymore. Hey, that's a way to look at it, Sue. Don't ever let a really great player get under your skin too much and not try to have to fucking coach the guy like a Michael Irvin or like an Antonio Brown or anything like that. Don't let a coach have to do his job, right? Yeah, okay. What a shitty deal. I will bet anything that AJ will regret leaving. I will bet anything AJ will love to move. Here's how he got duped. Hurts is gone after this year. We need to retool the offense and get stronger with a new quarterback. I could see Howie trading that 2028 first for a player. Maybe. We jump right to Max Dome post AJ trade. Holy moly. Oh my God. AJ Brown opening night. Wednesday football. Patriots, Seahawks. Shit. What's that guy go for 200 yards against the Seahawks? A first and a fifth is a steal for the Patriots. You mean a 2028 first and a fifth is a steal for the Patriots? Yeah. And Sill said the Eagles weren't getting a first. No, I told you earlier you were getting a first. I was wrong. We were told earlier today you got a 1. Unfortunately, it's 2 fucking years from now. Yeah, you got a 1. I'll see you in 2 years. You don't get no credit for this, Sills. I don't give a shit if you give me credit or not. Dirty Diane took a lot of the stick of this to get done. She had nothing to do with this deal. How did she have anything to do? Why? Because she got on her knees to Mike Vrabel? And that's how that happened? Well, how did that affect Howie Roseman? How did Diana Rossini affect the Eagles getting a 2028 and a fifth? How did that work? What'd she do? Rubber cans on Howie's little head? She could do it. I guarantee you Diana Rossini's taller than Howie. So she probably dropped her cans on his head. Is that what you're saying? How did that work, Marsh? Any fights with AJ during our joint practices? No way. There's going to be nothing but great respect for those guys. No way. Ski Mask Howie got his first round in 2 years. In 2 years from now, 2028. Holy shit. I knew it was done when AJ almost knocked out Nick. Here we go. Let's see how this guy's rationalizing this. Still's hating the 28 first, but all in all, when you use it to move up in the draft to take Jalen's replacement, now that's not a shitty take. Now, that's a way to look at it, Flash. How he's setting up Hurts' departure. Okay? So you're saying you think Jalen's got 2 years left here. This year and 27. That could be. That might be it. I'm not thinking that's awful. Let's see. We got to get somebody with some brains. There we go. Seals, let me get this straight. AJ is going to regret playing with a quarterback that can actually throw the ball. An OC that revived Moss's career and his former head coach that loves him. Okay. Hey, don't make too much sense. The guy revitalized Ray. That's a great take. He did. He revamped Randy Moss's career. Was a dude named Brady in the room too, though. Let's not go there. She put out false narratives. She put out false narratives to get her baby daddy what he wanted. Oh, wow. Then how come Howie got fleeced? Hey, Sills, still got a 1, which is true. Still got a 1. 2 years. I'll see you in 2 years. You retire. Here, how many players could you be losing in 2 years from now? Hurts, Lane, Landon, Barkley. Boy, you got a lot of guys to replace. AJ's going to ball out in New England. Wish him the best when he's not playing us. Fabulous take. Fabulous take. Seals got AJ for a 1, got 4 years. Another fucking great take. Seals got AJ for 1, got 4 years, got a Super Bowl, got 1 and 5 back. I can't complain about that. This offense needs retooling. That's a great take, dude. I got him 1 in 100 years from now. In NFL years, great. Seals, it was a pleasure chilling with you, getting all this shit right. How he got fleeced hard. 28 is a long way in football. Pats probably get it back. When's the last time you think that Howie got a shitty deal? That joint practice is going to be crazy. Just phenomenal content. Just, you think AJ has a chance at the Hall of Fame? He's going to have to put 300 catches up in the next 3 years. And 1,500 yards a year almost to get there. And another Super Bowl win. But in the AFC East, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. He's going to put numbers up. I've disagreed with this move for a long time. I'm right to disagree with it. Only way I'd feel better about this, Howie offers a 27 first and a 28 first for Crosby. Screw that. I'm not giving that up for Max Crosby. Please explain how we got fleeced. Somebody. You don't have any compensation for the next 2 years except a 5th rounder or for the next year. So next year, this year, you get no player back. You basically almost lost A.J. Brown like he was a free agent. He just walked out the door. Next year, you get a 5th rounder, which is a nothing pick. And then 2 years from now, you get whatever that one could be. What if the Patriots win the Super Bowl and it's a 32nd pick in the draft? You gave up the 32nd pick, which is almost like a 2nd rounder. We just saw the 26th draft. It was shitty. How do you know what you're going to get there in 2 years? Get this. Here's another thing, Prince. They added good players in LA. You lost an exceptional player. But I know the narrative in Philly today is, guess what? Whoa. Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore and Dontavian Wicks and a guy who's never played, rookie, Mekhi Lemon will cover it all. Okay, we'll find out. The Eagles have signed a ton of wide receivers. They planned for this. You got to relax with your bad take. Bad takes? No, you're right. You got better players in return. Nobody said they weren't. They're not Myles Garrett and a McDuffie who's an all-pro. Nobody knows until picks get used. Correct. It's a crapshoot. Great players are certainties. Verse, Garrett, McDuffie, AJ, they're certainties. Draft picks aren't. Correct. How is the 26th draft shit when you've seen no one play? I said that draft was not a very good draft because there weren't a lot of great 5-star type guys. There were about 50. Hey, guy, don't believe me. Go listen to other people if you want. You're right. It was a great draft. AJ, while a great wide receiver, was not happy here and wanted the balls. His subtraction can be an addition. That's wishful thinking. We just lost the best wide receiver we ever had and only get a 5th and need to wait 2 years for a mid to late round. That's exactly the take. Right there by Duel. That's the take. That's the take. Your immediate compensation's a 5th rounder. And you have to wait for a mid to late 1st round pick 2 years later. Okay. Think that's great? Congratulations. Tell Zander to do a giveaway where people send their AJ jerseys for Lemon. I like it. But yeah, that's what they should start doing from now on. Put Velcro names on the back, right? How much cap did we save? I'm looking for a positive. I'll look into that. Now we got AJ with giving up a 1st. Now we're getting that back plus a Super Bowl, so we didn't get fleeced at all. That's not a horrible way to look at it. In his 4 years with the Eagles, it was exceptionally productive. It was tremendous. And by the way, all that shit about drop footballs, He had the third least drop rate of any wide receiver last year in pro football. Devontae had higher rate in drops. We are taking a hit now, preparing for us to move all these high price on offense. A lot of change over the next 2 years. I agree. Just how he's probably preparing for Hurts's departure. You could look at that 28 that way. There's no doubt. Dead cap money 7. Put that out over 2 years. It's $3.5 million on dead cap, which is nothing in today's NFL. If that's the number, because you could prorate it out 2 years. I thought the NFL in some places you could prorate it out 5 years, but I think it's 2. Make sure you stand up to you bet, tough guy. You talk a lot of shit. I'm burning my AJ jersey. He's a crybaby. I stand up for every fucking thing I've ever said in my entire life when I do broadcasting, March. You know that, my man. It's called having a take. It's called having an opinion. Like most people, I like to waffle the fence. We don't waffle shit here. I do dig Marsh. Guy's my boy. We're good. Still, Howie didn't have another team to leverage. That's right. The Patriots had the leverage. Pats had the leverage. You know why? No team in the league was given a 1-up. No team was given a 1. That's why it's a 1 and a 5, not a 1 and a 3 or 2. Still, how he comes out of it with a 1, I get it. I hate it's 2 years, but it's a 1. Mikey Shreds. Cap savings, 26.7. Dead cap, 16.35. 27. Dead cap, 27.1. Now, that's a little bit more of a number to have to contend with there, Junior. AJ on the decline, but not Hurts. The guy throwing him the ball. The guy with the third least drop rate in the league, but not the quarterback who won't run. You're right. Sills, Eagles got a 5th in the next draft. A 1st and 28. If they got the 27 first and the 28 first, would you feel different? Yes. I would have. Yes. Howie now has 3 first in the next 3 drafts. Draft capital. The only way you're doing that shit is because you're replacing the quarterback. Hurts is next. Thanks for the memories and a Super Bowl, AJ. Best of luck. That's how I'd look at it. I would totally look at it that way. No shit, I would look at it like that. Let's see here. A boy Marsh. Nothing to do with the Wafflers. Honor your bet. Big man, that's all I got. Gotta say, 1,500. All right. AJ Brown, 1,500 yards. I'm all right with that. Josh McDaniels, Drake May, and a coach who loves him. Gee, what a reach. I mean, wait a minute. What a reach. Holy shit. The best OC in football and a quarterback who can actually throw the football. What a reach. Thank you, Marsh. Appreciate you for participating. Make sure you get on your knees at the end of the 2026 season and bow to big sells, because you will be. This is incoming. It's like a Scud missile. Like this. Holy shit. This is like the Scud missile coming in. Look out. Look out. Shit, I'm like getting shell-shocked here. Look out. What the hell's going to hit me in the head here? Holy shit. Wait a minute here. What? Wait a second here. Don't get hit in the head here. Jesus. They're like shell-shock shit. Like Snoopy on the doghouse. Oh my God, wait a minute. I got to do this right here before I get Big Z up here. Watch this. Folks, this is Big Sills today. Watch this. Look at this here. Here we go. Look at this. It is right there. Big Sills, baby. The guns are out. Look at the guns. How you doing? Whoa. All right, my friends. Sad day in Eagleville. My friends. Woo, man. Marsh, I appreciate you, brother, and thank you very much, man. Okay? Let's see here. The Patriots said this deal was done 2 months ago. I would say that the parameters of the deal was done 2 months ago. All right. Without further ado, we've been waiting for this. This is called AJ D-Day. This is like D-Day. My friend from Birds 365. Now, we got to make sure he's in a good mood here. This is going to be next couple weeks, going to be a little touch and go here. So I got to make sure. I don't know if he's going to be in a good mood or not. Now that this AJ thing's fucking popping up, I got to be very careful here. So my boy, my friend, who I love from the morning show, my friend, Big Z, Zander Krause joined us on the historic day here in Philadelphia. How you doing, Big Z?
What is up, Big Sills? A massive day in the NFL world and a massive day in Philadelphia, and the Eagles traded. Now, I will disagree with you about quite a bit of what you said, but we have similar thought processes on the big picture. I'm sure we'll get into all of that on the segment today, but it's finally happened. The A.J. Brown trade is done and dusted, my friend.
Okay, 4 years, your takeaway on what, first and foremost, let's put that to bed, on what he brought to the organization and what he brought to the team in his 4 years as a player with the Eagles.
Well, he completely changed this team from a good team to a perennial Super Bowl contender year in and year out. He's the best receiver we've had since probably T.O., talent-wise. I think he completely helped and contributed to making Jalen Hurts become a player that was worthy of a max contract as a quarterback. I think he was a massive addition to this football team. Never will I ever look at him like some Eagle fans do on the way out the door and have all negative emotion toward him or any of those different things. Do I like the way he handled everything? Absolutely not. Do I believe anybody handles everything perfect? No. AJ was obviously a tremendous football player. And the thing that I'll say that I disagreed with you on is I just don't feel like they got fleeced on the deal. I'll tell you why that is. I understand your point about the future. They traded a 1 and a 3 for this guy 4 years ago. You know, and then 4 years later, you get back a 1 and a 5. Now, I understand your point about the year. Believe me, I wish it was 27. But you get the guy for a 1 and a 3. Obviously, you pay him the big money. That's really what it cost. And then 4 years later, you get back a 1 and a 5. I think all things considered, not a bad move for Howie. You know, he gets the first round pick in the chamber. I felt pretty good about that. But, you know, Sills, I want to make a bigger point before I get some more of your questions in here. I think Eagle fans got to be realistic about this offseason. You know, and this is not a shot at Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman is one of the best general managers in all of football.
He's the best.
You look at the LA Rams, a team that went deeper into the postseason than the Eagles did last year, and they've acquired Trent McDuffie, an all-pro cornerback, and now Myles Garrett, the best football player in the National Football League, with really out getting rid of anybody. And the Eagles are replacing an all-pro receiver with a rookie. The Eagles are not operating at the same level this offseason as Les Snead is. It's just not happening. Howie's a great GM. He's not having the type of offseason like that would show you, okay, he's still a believer that this team is going to be
He's
a Super
not
Bowl
going to have
contender.
grand slam years every year, though.
No, I agree with that.
It's accumulation of the years that he's had.
But I just said that because I want to be honest about it. I think people are still – Howie's not having that offseason, guys.
Yeah.
Les Snead was there. He was – when did they lose? The NFC Championship game last year or the year?
They lost
the week
to the
before?
Seahawks.
The Seahawks in the championship game.
Yep.
And they've added an all-pro corner and the best edge rusher in football. Now, we got rid of Verse, but all right, that's a pretty big move.
Oh, completely a huge move.
So Les Snead is the best GM right now for this offseason. It's not even close. And to be honest, you can make an argument how he had a meh offseason. I mean, good trade for Grenard. I like what he did defensively.
And Woolen.
But, you're replacing AJ with a rookie. You got a first-time play caller. Kind of feels more like they're a little bit more focused on the future of the team than they are this year of the team. And I think that's a fair call out. But I don't think they got fleeced on the deal at all. AJ was a major contributor to this team. I got no bad blood toward him, no bad feelings toward him. By the way, I agree with you. I think 1,500 is light. I think he'll have that easily next year with the New England Patriots. And Godspeed to you, brother. Thank you for helping us parade down Broad Street. See you on the other side.
Here's this, though. Here's why I don't like the deal. And I understand, and it's a really great take of you when you said what we got for him a couple of years ago. Okay, that player was a completely different ball player, had not proven really a whole bunch in what you gave away. This player came here. Do you not agree? He accentuated his resume being here in what he did. He wasn't anything in New England. He wasn't anything in Tennessee. So when you gave a 1 and a 3 and now you gave up lesser for a guy who performed more, and you're not getting that compensation for 2 years, and the first compensation you get's a 5th rounder, you get no pushback on me that he got a 1. That's really great. However, I get no real payoff for 2 years. It's like letting the guy walk out the building, and I'm not getting – it's like letting Barkley walk out in New York without getting anything for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that point. But, at the end of the day, would you rather have taken a 28-1 or a 27-2?
Man, Patriots had the leverage here, dude.
They did. And look, Howie got his way and then he got a 1. The Patriots got their way in that they didn't want to give up a 27. So I think it was a little bit of a give and take. Look, it takes 2 to tango with the deal. The Patriots knew that the Eagles wanted to get rid of them. So they preyed on that a little bit. Hey, we're not giving you the 1 and 27. All right, you can take our 28-1 or you can leave it. And I think Howie at the end of the day took it. Look, I feel good about Howie with that just because of his track record of having assets, and now he's got another additional asset in 28 that's going to give him flexibility. Whether he uses it in 27 or uses it to trade up or whatever the case may be, we'll find out what he does with it. But I think Howie Roseman with a lot of leverage and a lot of assets in the chamber, to me, is a good situation. So I don't feel like they got fleeced. My concern still now is they're not a better football team today, dude. Right. I don't care what anybody says about A.J. Brown and his behavior on the sideline. I don't care. They're not a better football team. The Jimmies and the Joes are worse today than they were yesterday. It's a fact.
So in your opinion, Howie Roseman is thinking about the future and not 26.
I mean, it would be fair to make that argument. Let's see what he does. I mean, he could turn around and take that 27 pick and like Dallas did and turn it into a player. I don't know. It all depends on what Howie does. I think his next couple of moves will figure out where his focus really is. But it would be hard for me to dispute you with evidence that they're not building for the future right now. So, again, they replaced an all-pro player in his prime with a rookie. They picked up another first-year play caller who's never called a play. All of the things that they're doing do seem to be, okay, this is preparation for the next phase of the Eagles. So, it's fair to say that, but it's yet to be determined what Howie will do.
Okay. So do you agree that the 2028 pick could be for the replacement of Jalen Hurts.
Absolutely. I mean, if he falls flat, for sure. In fact, I think that's why they were good with it being a 28, because it gives them that into the future, that leverage into the future, where maybe that becomes a need for the team. I was reading an article today about the Rams trade, and somebody did pretty good reporting over there in LA, but they had put out that basically the Rams would never have made the trade for Myles Garrett today had they not drafted Ty Simpson. And the reason I think that's relevant is because when you have a team that wants a quarterback or thinks they're going to need a quarterback, they're going to be a lot less adept to trading away a first-round pick. So the Eagles have more in the chamber. If Jalen comes out and has a great year with Mannion, then they're going to re-up his contract. And, now all of a sudden you're going to look at, a lot of assets that maybe he can shake and bake and rebuild, the aging offense or the offensive line or the running back with Saquon or whatever the case might be. But yeah, I think that's a part of their thought process right now. They got to see. I mean, Sills, if that wasn't true, Jalen would have already had a new contract.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't like with what Eagle fans are saying, that AJ's past his prime, but the quarterback's not. The quarterback gets the first. He's the guy throwing the fucking football. So if people say that AJ Brown the last 2 seasons, it's not been as productive, well, fuck, the quarterback has been far less productive the last 2 years than what the wide receiver has been. I mean, it's a duo there, throwing the ball, catching the ball. So to me, to sit there and say that, well, Brown's past his best time and the quarterback's not, it's an excuse for the quarterback.
Well, to me, with Brown,
I said this when you guys got Barkley, and everybody fucking glazed over it. The passing game will never be the same as long as Saquon Barkley is on your football team, because that will be the centerpiece of your team. And what happened? Your passing game the last 2 years has suffered because of the mentality of the coach going with the running game. By the way, it's produced 25 wins, an NFC title, and a Super Bowl. It's not a failure mentality. It's just how the offense evolved.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. The only difference there, I would say, would be the bell curve. Like, I think every player in the NFL, and I'm sure you know this, has a bell curve. Like, there's an ascension to when you get drafted in the league or signed, where you have to acclimate to the league. And then there's the come down where you're basically not worth anything anymore to the NFL. That, everybody's bell curve is different. When you look at AJ Brown, receivers' bell curves to me are shorter than quarterbacks by far. And then I look at AJ, 29, 2 declining seasons. Now, we could argue why. I agree. Probably the style of offense is more of the reason than anything, but does have the bum knee, or at least a problem with his knee. He's had hamstring problems. Those soft tissues don't go away. Those are tough. And at 29 years old for $30 million large, you can make that argument that he's on his way down, and I think it's more drops than I've ever seen. Now, maybe chalk that up to focus, whatever the case may be, but the reality is that's true. So, I think that bell curve is smaller with AJ, and I think it'll work out better for the Eagles as compared to, bell curves for quarterbacks are way longer, obviously. Or even in the case of the Rams, Myles Garrett, I think he's got a Superman bell curve. I think he might play till he's 37 or 38. Who knows?
So here, you think Kevin Patullo affected Jalen's play?
Yeah, I mean, naturally, right? Naturally.
Do you think Kevin Patullo affected AJ's play?
Yeah. Naturally.
Okay. Well, I mean, if we're going to use one metric for one guy, and the coordinator sucks, surely it's collateral damage down the line that everyone's going to be affected by it if the guy sucks. Well, you can't sit there and go, you can't sit there and go, well, hey, the quarterback, listening to that bullshit artist, Kevin Patullo, he's okay, but, the lack of production on this guy over here, that's on him. So wait, it's on him over here, but not on the Kevin Patullo affecting Hurts. I think Hurts has also gone back because here, the guy you paid for in 22, that's not the same guy that's quarterbacking right now because he doesn't run. If that guy does not run, he is a below average passer from the pocket. And where I'm going to put context on this, like Steve Smith said, Jalen is a good football player, and he is. But here's what you get with your passing game. Some days it's great. Some days it's awful. Some days it's okay. Some days it's really good. Some days it's just not good. It's too much like this, like a wave. That's why the offense has struggled the last couple of years. They've had no consistency whatsoever out of that part of the game, Zander, where you even said it. 26, they need more consistency, and they need more from Jalen out of the passing game. And he couldn't deliver it. Now, is that
Well, now they're asking him to do it without AJ.
Now you're going to ask him to do it without AJ with Kevin Patullo potentially 2.0. Now, look, I'm going to agree with you guys all on this. He can't be any worse than that guy. There's just no way. He can't be worse.
Boy, the Patriots social media, they're having a field day right now.
But they knew, can you tell?
Look, they're posting AJ. Let me kill the background here.
You can see right now.
They got AJ up. Is he going to wear number 1 there? Look,
11.
They posted this up and they put wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he's going to wear 11. They knew from, hey, dude, this has been in the works.
They're having a field day out there in New England, man. They're having a freaking field day.
How about this one here? Who do you blame for this whole mess? Angelo
with AJ? I think it's all of them. I think AJ's got some blame. I think Nick's got some blame. And I think Jalen Hurts has some blame. I think that's fair. I mean, AJ is a cispot who's had trouble, managing his emotions in his career. It's just objectively true.
It's true.
Nick Sirianni is, doesn't seem like AJ ever really liked him. Often it looked like AJ was ready to punch him in the face. Saw that a lot. And Jalen's not a pass-happy quarterback or a volume quarterback that gets receivers the football, at a high clip and at a consistent clip. So I think that combination of things just led to AJ wanting out. The other thing is, look, and I understand, that mental health is a thing in the world today. And I don't say this with any disrespect toward that at all. But I do notice the trend also with the player. AJ wasn't happy in Tennessee. He wasn't happy in Philadelphia. Sometimes, Sills, people are just fucking miserable.
Yeah. No,
that's all right. Look, I'm miserable. Yeah, I might be that guy. All right. It doesn't matter how much cash. It doesn't matter. I can be miserable. So I get that, but that doesn't mean the Eagles have to placate to it. So it is what it is.
But wait a minute, Z. Let me disagree with you on this. So if Michael Irvin is a headache and he's a nightmare, you're going to pass on that player and not try to coach that, and not try to deal with that. Mike Tomlin had to deal with Antonio Brown for 7 years in Pittsburgh and got the best out of the player, knowing that he was a nightmare and a headache and a Fruit Loop. I think the great coaches, they coach that harder. You had a murderer in Aaron Hernandez in New England, and they got two Pro Bowl years out of the guy.
Well, I mean, got 4 at AJ.
Okay,
he ain't a murderer.
I don't think you can surrender being a coach.
Yeah, but
when a guy is like that,
sometimes things just come to an end, don't they?
They do.
Again, this is why it's hard for me.
You got a shorter fuse than, say, a guy who plays along and is a better teammate in the locker room. You got a longer fuse. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and look, the other thing is, I feel like we got a lot out of AJ.
You did.
We went to 2 Super Bowls. He was an all-pro receiver multiple times here.
Yeah.
He racked up 1,500 yards 2 years in a row. He turned Jalen Hurts into one of the caliber quarterbacks that was widely regarded as one of the best in the league in 22 and 23. I mean, I don't look at it like, the ship has sailed. He wanted out. The Eagles wanted out.
That's a great way to look at it.
The book is closed. That chapter is closed in Philly and for AJ. But we also shouldn't lie about it. I mean, he is the best receiver we've had in maybe ever, so or up there at least. So
here's something that I did not realize about some Eagle fans in here. Oh my God. I mean, Trent McDuffie, Myles Garrett, Rams. I'm going like this. Hey, freaks, it's June 1. Hang in there. Let's see how this season plays out with a 38-year-old quarterback. And let's see if that guy could stay upright. Let's see what happens with the Rams. Zander, remember that superstar team you guys assembled? What was it, the dream team kind of thing? You guys put Nnamdi Asomugha and all them dudes on the football team? That thing turned out to be a fucking train wreck,
Well,
right?
I mean, that's football, dude. It can all change quick always.
I am not in a position to sit here and give the trophy to the Rams.
No, absolutely not. But they're the best roster.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is just that. It's just they're the best roster. Let's see what it amounts to. I mean, the other thing I like about the Rams is, I think the Rams have leveraged more of their future to try and do it now, but that makes a lot of sense when you have a 38-year-old quarterback, you know what I mean? Or however old he is. I mean, he did just win the MVP. I saw people in here, he's the washed up Matthew Stafford. I'm like, washed up? The guy just threw for 5K and won the MVP. What are we smoking? And they lost in the NFC Championship game. So I think their window is now, but they only got a couple years with Matthew. So I get going all in.
Hey, let me tell you something. Bob just brought up a great point that I keep bringing up. What the Patriots have done in all the years. Maybe getting rid of AJ right now when he had gas in the tank is the best thing, because next year you're not getting that one.
Well, that's why I brought up, dude, what you
yeah, but the 28 thing is like, I mean,
I know you don't like that, and I understand, but again, all things considered, you trade a 1 and a 3 for him 4 years ago. You pay him big money, which is good, but I think we got our value. I think we got our money's worth, with the success of the team.
Absolutely.
And 4 years later, you get a 1 and a 5 back. Basically, you're talking about a pick swap. 5 and a 3 here is what the trade cost was for the Eagles to get this player in Philly for 4 years, plus obviously the contract. So I get it, but I'm just not as stuck on the 28 as you are. I understand why you are. I mean, you get rid of a player that good, and you're not going to have anything to show for it. Nothing. You have a 5th round pick. That's it.
And
I get it, but what's that?
And a rookie.
Right.
I mean, that you have to develop when you draft him in 28.
I mean, the Rams had the best offseason by far.
Yes.
I mean, they add McDuffie and Myles Garrett to already a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nasty team.
And not give up Devontae Adams or anybody else.
Nobody. Who'd they lose this year?
I thought they lost. They lost Verse. Obviously.
Verse. Yeah, but
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Everyone's like, well, they lost Verse. Yeah, well, they got Myles Garrett. All right, you tell me. Go ask Lane Johnson, guys, who we'd rather block, Jared Verse or Myles Garrett. I'll tell you his answer for him.
And Jeremy Fowler kind of validated what I said. What do you make of Howie Roseman putting Jalen Carter in a potential trade with the Browns? Now, people can believe it or not.
Oh, I just read a report that they wouldn't. That's what the Browns wanted, and the Eagles wouldn't go there.
I heard that the Browns wanted a edge rusher.
Well, that's why
Jeremy Fowler. Jeremy Fowler said they coveted edge
so they
rusher.
made a package around either Nolan or Jalix, and picks. And that's not going to get it done when you're talking about Jared Verse.
Yeah, well then, that's why I don't believe that deal, because Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith in ones versus Jared Verse 1, 2, and a 3. Howie was never in the fucking room then.
Yeah, but
Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt. Give me a.
I will say this: when I saw the compensation for that deal, I immediately said, "Howie, where were you? Where were you?" But I think you know what else I think made them beg off a little bit on that is the Grenard trade.
Here's something I'll throw at you here, and that I got to. People were like, to what you just said, guys, you proved the point. You don't have to win fucking a Super Bowl with Myles Garrett. You can win it with Josh Sweat, and you can win it with, Brandon Graham. I mean, I wouldn't sit there and lose sleep over the fact you didn't get that guy, because you've proven. Is it Vic? Who would you rather have, Vic or Myles Garrett?
Oh, probably Myles Garrett.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Vic makes your whole unit better.
I know, but I think Vic would say Myles Garrett.
I don't know, man.
I think Vic would say, yeah, take the player, guys.
Yeah, well, the player was in Cleveland and didn't do dick there.
Well, really? The Cleveland are one of the best defenses in football.
I got it. But that guy elevated your defense to the number 1 defense in pro football. with lesser players and no Myles Garrett's. I don't know, man. That's a pretty tough one here, man. I don't know. I would look at it. All right, so in your opinion, where do you put the Eagles now? You put them behind this? Rams, Seattle, Niners, Eagles?
What was that? Sorry.
Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Eagles?
Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Eagles. Is that your ranking for the top four?
Well, you could put them, yeah, like that.
Yeah, that's about what I see. I mean, I think the Eagles have to kind of prove they're there. To me, I mean, the run game fell off. They're kind of right now identityless in the offense. So a lot of changes to the team. I think they gotta prove that they're with those guys. The Rams are the number one.
You think
The
they're
Niners
better than
are
the Lions?
The Niners' problem to me is their age.
Yeah. Do you think they're better than the Lions?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the Lions have a good squad, but they've struggled. I mean, they've fallen back a little bit. I don't know. Is that Jared Goff? Is that their
Ben
coaches
Johnson?
or what?
Ben Johnson? How about if the Packers get Josh Sweat and add him to that mix on the other side of Michael Parsons and put Josh up there in Green Bay? Reported that there's a conversation going on with Arizona right now on a trade to try to put Josh Sweat up there in Green Bay. What would you make of that move?
That would be good. I mean, that would be good for Green Bay, obviously, with Micah Parsons, and they would have Josh Sweat and Micah. But, yeah, I don't know about Green Bay. I mean, what did they win? 9 games last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They got to prove it too. They got to prove more than the Eagles have to prove.
What kind of impact do you think A.J. Brown has on Jalen Hurts not being there this year?
I think a big one. I think a big one. Jalen obviously, went to AJ a lot. I think AJ bailed him out of a lot of, when you roll right sometimes, and you have a player like AJ Brown who can make a contested catch or can bully people physically. I think that's a big thing. But look, this whole offense is hinging on Jalen playing a different brand of football. So this is going to require him to play a different brand of football. And he's either going to do it or he's not. I think that to me has a bigger impact on Jalen, but not having AJ out there does not help. It's just a fact. So we'll see.
Okay, the impact now that it's official with Devontae and the rest of the wide receiving core. How do you think that has on Devontae? Devontae's on an island right now. Before you had him, and those guys were them. You know what I mean? Those dudes together. Sometimes, Zander, when you have a singing duo and you got a really great duo together, they just make great music together. Now you got a bunch of guys that have never been in the orchestra together, and you got to try to find that right sound, that right noise. How does Mannion make all that work when he's never had these pieces work together? One thing you guys had the last couple of years with AJ and Devontae, they showed up X and Y. It may have become predictable, but you know what you knew when you showed up to the barn and you showed up to the link? You knew when you showed up to the link every day that those dudes knew their jobs and knew their roles. You don't know that right now with these guys and how they got to find their role. Is that fair?
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair.
What do you think it has on Devontae? You think Devontae elevates, or do you
that's
think
one of the biggest ones? I mean, is Devontae ready to be a wide receiver one? I think talent-wise he is. I don't think he's ever done it production-wise. I mean, I think he's averaged. Someone put the number up. He's averaged like 60 yards a game when AJ misses.
Yeah.
And AJ's missed probably 8 games or 9 games since he's been here. So that's a pretty significant sample size. Not huge, but Devontae's going to have to adjust for sure. Teams are going to be taking him away, double teaming him, all things like that. So we're going to have to find out what that looks like. But I still feel good about Devontae from a talent perspective. I did watch him. I've watched that guy make some insane catches, running incredible routes. I mean, he's physical, he's tough, he plays well above what his playing weight is. I feel good about Devontae, but it's still one of those things you got to wait and see what it looks like when he's the number one out there. And then also, what made AJ a better wide receiver one was having Devontae as a 2. Well, you got to see how Mekhi Lemon looks. I mean, if Mekhi Lemon isn't a threat out there, does that mess up how well Devontae Smith, can play as a wide receiver one? I think those are all relevant things.
Boy, I'll tell you, moving forward here and watching this team try to evolve. Now you don't have Brown out there on your offensive huddle, and you're relying on so much now. Don't you think there's more questions than ever before in the Nick Sirianni era? And I'll say this one more time to you, Zander, on Nick. Help me out here on this. Howie Roseman had a saying, right? The objective and the idea is always to collect great players and to gather great players. How do you justify you losing a great player and not adding one yet? Whether whether Lemon's going to be one or not, you have no idea. Doesn't this contradict that comment that he made at the Combines when he says that our idea is to gather and get great players in here, not let them go? Well, let's take a look at that in the last couple of years with Howie. Howie's let Josh go. Howie's let Milton go. Howie's let AJ go. Howie's let Kobe Dean go. Howie's let some pretty good football players walk out the building, don't you think?
He has, but there's obviously circumstances for why. He's got a bunch of players coming up. He's also, in the same breath, we've talked about how well Howie Roseman is drafted in round 1 and 2.
Okay.
And a lot of those guys are getting paid.
Well, that means then Devontae will have to pull in and be the next A.J. Brown. And that Mekhi Lemon has to be the next Devontae Smith. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. Which is agree with you. That's a tough thing to do. But that's what they're going to have to do. I mean, Devontae's going into what, year 6?
Wow. No way.
I thought
no,
so.
It's got to be. Is it? No, it's got to be 5. No?
No, dude.
Is it
year 6 for Devontae? Yep, year 6.
Holy piss.
So when AJ got here, that was what, year 5 for him or 4?
Yeah, 5.
Wasn't it 4?
Well, he came the year I came to you, to JAKIB.
Yeah, that was year 4 for him. He came to the Eagles in 22. He only played 3 seasons with the Titans.
How does this affect Manning going forward, calling plays this year?
Well, I think he knew.
Or do you think that, they already had this in the hopper. They knew that they were prepping without it, right?
Yeah, I think he knew. So I think he's had the chance to, to obviously envision and try and think about what to do without AJ. But so I don't think much changed for him today, but it is what it is.
Boy, man, what a day, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy NFL day. I mean, 2 massive trades. Do you think AJ was upset that his his big day was muddied by Miles
he got
Garrett?
outshined. Oh yeah, I mean, he totally did. What were you more surprised with? AJ going to the Patriots or Garrett going to the Rams?
Well, Garrett, because I didn't think, for one, I didn't think it would be the Rams for
you
Garrett.
know what? The last 2, when he didn't show up and burned $1.9 million for showing up to OTAs, I was like, you would just throw $2 million in a trash can and light it on fire and just not fucking show up unless something was up? He had an incentive. It wasn't mandatory, but if he showed up, he collected $2 million, 1.9 or something. I'm like, where in your right mind would an agent go like this? Because he gets 10% of that. An agent would go like this. They fucking blow off the $2 million. Guys don't blow off any money like that. $2 million is a lot of money, bro.
Yeah, I know.
And he just blew it off. And I'll tell you this about Les Snead and Kevin Demoff and Sean McVay. Hey, dude, your dick's on the line now, bro. You need to fucking win here. No more than cheesy 2-minute drills. There's no excuses not to win this year. There is no excuses. You can't shit the bed with all that talent on your football team. Dude, you got to – you know what this team looks like? The Rams look like the Eagles in 2024.
What do you mean? The Rams are the Eagles?
They're talented. All the quarterback, the receiving core, the defense. Now you get Garrett there.
Have the Eagles had a roster like that, dude?
Bro, that offensive line that you had,
the offensive line is better, but
both receivers.
They got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. They got like 4 different tight ends.
You got 2 receivers over $25 million. You got a back that was making 20. You got a quarterback that's making 50. You had a lot of guys, man. A tight end that was making $14 million. It was really the defensive side of the football.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe, but I think the Rams are the team to beat. I think that's for sure. So, that's fair to say. The Rams are the best team right now. They got the best quarterback in the NFC, probably one of the best, probably the best quarterback in the NFC. Great coach. Their defense is now, I don't think their secondary is a problem. I mean, I still see people posting about their secondary. I'm like, well, I mean, you got Myles Garrett coming at you. That's going to help your secondary. I promise.
Yeah.
Go ask Denzel Ward what it was like playing behind Myles Garrett. I mean, it's going to help.
The Browns said that he was off the list of any kind of deals. They were not trading Denzel Ward.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. You can't get rid of both of those guys. Also, Myles Garrett had to approve it, right? He has the no trade clause. Yeah, so he waived it. And he still has it now with LA.
Are you disappointed, like what Angelo said, that Jalen Hurts didn't step up more to try to fix the issue between him and A.J. Brown, to try to resolve if there was any issues? I mean, his opinion, and I kind of agree with it. His opinion was, you want to see your quarterback. If there's a problem with something, why don't you try to resolve it? Why don't you try to get to yes? Because they're better with him than they are without him. Shouldn't Hurts have stepped in a little more and tried to calm the waters and make it work?
Well, with AJ?
Yeah.
Dude, that ship has sailed. That thing was a multi-pronged degradation of the relationship.
I saw Brady work with him, hammerhead.
I know, but I don't think you're dealing with the same situation there. I don't think AJ wanted to play with Jalen and or Nick. You don't want to play with the head coach and the quarterback. Now what? I don't think anybody came to Brady and said, I don't want to play with you anymore.
No.
So it's a different situation. I mean, I don't view them as the same at all.
You think Jalen's a good teammate?
I think he's a unique teammate. I don't think he's a bad teammate. Yeah, I don't think he's a bad teammate. No. I don't know how good he is. I mean, I'm not in the building. I can't speak to that, but I think he's a unique guy. He's got a unique thought process on life. I think he doesn't like a lot of the bullshit, a lot of the games, a lot of the, stuff like that. I think, and that doesn't rub everybody right. I understand that because that's been me in my own life. Okay. Everybody wants to play. Well, that's not me. I don't take the bullshit and throw it out.
Okay. Let me put this out there to you, because some folks in the Buccaneer organization told me about Brady here, and you tell me. There's nothing to do with ability either. So when Tom Brady showed up in Tampa, you know what he did? He got to Jason Light, and he goes, I want all 90 guys' cell phone numbers and email addresses. And Tom Brady, he addressed every single guy that was on the Bucs team. He had a conversation and a phone call. He met every single guy that was on that 90-man roster, and he made it a point to have some type of small or big or large or whatever relationship with every guy in that locker room. And it was important for him to be the best teammate he could possibly be with the guys that he was going to go to battle with. And Jason Light and all those guys said it was remarkable watching Brady talk to a third-team D tackle guy saying, we're going to need you here, and we're going to do this. You think Jalen's that kind of guy?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't think he's showy with it, but I think he does what's needed. I don't know. I mean, what have you seen that would tell you otherwise?
Oh, no. I'm going to hear it soon from AJ. AJ's going to start peeling back the onion.
I don't know if that will happen that quick.
So maybe what the Patriots are going to say, hey, don't come in here and don't start barking about the Eagles, because we already got enough of the distraction with Rossini. We don't need any of that bullshit going back and forth on what happened in Philly and how the divorce ended. Do you think this divorce ended poorly? Rough? Do you think it ended okay? I think it ended better than I thought it was going to end.
It wasn't that ugly.
I thought it was going to be really ugly.
Yeah, it wasn't that ugly. I mean, you made it ugly, but it wasn't that ugly.
I didn't. No, the TO divorce was ugly, right?
Yeah, it was ugly. I mean, the only thing that happened this summer was what AJ went on that podcast with Julian Edelman and kind of winked at them with the Patriot. That was it. I mean, there was nothing really else. Howie and Nick were like, he's a part of the Eagles, and that was that.
Wow, man, I can't. Hey,
I'm gonna do a segment with McMullen at 6 after your show ends tonight. So we'll get Johnny Mac's take on this as well.
hey, let me ask you this: are you shocked it went quick like this?
A little quicker than I thought, but it seems like the NFL has taken another day now and turned it into a big day to look forward to. You know, they've done that a lot with the trade deadline.
So now they turned June 1 into something.
June 1's now a big day. You got Myles Garrett and AJ Brown. Believe me, they'll be talking about this for years to come.
Wasn't this day bigger than the first day of free agency? AJ Brown and Myles Garrett going on.
Yeah, what was I'd have to look back at
I don't even remember the big names that were. Remember?
I don't either.
It was Max Crosby, and then that deal got reneged, right? And then you're like,
that was before, wasn't that beforehand? That was like
I thought that was free agent. I thought they were doing. Was Jalen Phillips like the biggest name in free agency?
Top 5, I think. Free agency is not that fun because most good players get signed.
Dude, fucking what a day! I've not seen one of these days in a long time. You think Howie's got another move?
Where would it be? Safety?
What? Not wide out. You got enough of them now.
Yeah, I don't think wide out.
Edge?
I don't know. Maybe something small. I don't think something huge. I don't think something huge.
All right, let's get to some of these supers here, man. All
right, I got to run because I got to get ready for John too.
Yeah.
All right, here's we got a bunch of them. Here's Takeem. What's up, Takeem? Breaking news: Drake May and AJ Brown spotted walking into a thigh massage parlor together in Cambridge, Massachusetts, with matching robes. Ling Ling, love you long time. Please come again. Come on, Takeem.
Come on there, man.
That's a tough one to even read out loud, dude. Joshua says, you're putting a lot of stock into Drake May that looked like a deer in the headlights on the biggest stage. First round exit. Appreciate the first in 2028. I think the Patriots take a step back. I think Sileo is right about that.
And I will say this, though. I think that you look at the Patriots and that quarterback throwing for 4,400 yards last year and 30-some touchdowns, and now you got Josh McDaniels trying to get AJ open. I think they're going to have a really good passing attack this coming season.
Yeah, we'll see. Here's Philly Dom. Sills, where's our cap shit show, and who do you think Howie will extend now before training camp? Maybe Carter?
Boy, man. I'm sorry, I disagree with some people. I've heard Carter's name was involved in that deal, and I've heard it numerous times. Now, listen, it's Garrett. It's what's the kid, Micah. It's Garrett, Micah, and Crosby. So we're not talking about like Jonathan Grenard guys. And by the way, no shade on him. He's a fine ball player. But boy, would you extend him right now and not let him go into the year? I would wait till March. I really would. I would not extend him right now. But then again, if you don't, you've got Cooper and Q to have to deal with this coming off season. Man, you got some big time decisions. You see people coming in here going like this to me earlier, going, "Hey, Sills, put Q and Cooper in the trade to try to get Myles Garrett." I'm like, yeah, I'm not trading Cooper to Chief for fucking anybody on the planet.
Yeah,
I'm not getting rid of that kid, man.
Here's Theo. Watching the casual fans go through the 5 stages of grief over AJ was entertaining. Thanks for that. You did see some of that.
There were a lot of
Where's
people.
my boy Alfredo? Where is Alfredo today? I haven't seen him.
Those guys were really. There was a lot of people holding out hope that wasn't real, wasn't there?
There was a couple people, but they mostly came to grips with it recently. Here's Phil's fan. Terrible take, Sills. Guy's past his prime now with knees bad enough for Rams to pivot. Howie did fine.
Okay. I completely disagree with that take.
Kimberly says, I said it about Ty. Rams not getting a quarterback in 27. Yeah, well, that's part of the reason that they got rid of the first.
Yeah, but dude, that fucking Rams pick now just makes no sense.
Oh, I disagree. I see it the opposite.
I don't think it makes any sense at all getting unless Stafford told you that this is his last year
Well, they've
To
already
me-
talked about 1 or 2 years left.
Yeah, but
They
Ty
just gave him a new deal that has an
Bro.
out after the year just in case.
my problem's not the quarterback selection. My quarterback's the quarterback himself.
Well, then that's fair, but the selection of a quarterback makes complete sense to me.
Yeah, but I don't think he's it.
Fair enough. Here's Marshall. Every freaking year these guys glaze the Rams and they're wrong. That's a trend, by the way. What do you mean? Every year the Rams are good, Marsh?
Yeah.
Are you under the impression that the only way for a team to be classified as good in the NFL is to win the Super Bowl? That's
crazy.
not how it works, bro. They're a good team every year. Tell me why they've taken 1 first-round pick in the last decade, for crying out loud, and they're still one of the best teams in the NFC every year.
That's because
Come on, Marsh.
they're
Marsh,
really,
adjust the barometer, dude.
they're
Here's
really
Prince.
great.
Hey, can you guys review our roster now that A.J. Brown is gone and our Super Bowl window is closed? LOL. I know I smoke a lot, but I don't see it. Don't see what, Prince? That they're good or that they're bad?
That their roster's taking a step back. He don't believe it.
No, the offensive roster is definitely taking a step back.
Yeah, he don't see it. He thinks.
I mean, you
what they-
replaced A.J. Brown as an all-pro receiver. He was a 3-time all-pro.
I mean,
You replace him with a rookie who's never caught a pass in the NFL.
and he thinks that the roster hasn't taken a step back.
Come on, Prince. All right, Sills, I got to run here. I got to get ready for this night show.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much, my friend.
All right, brother. Later, man.
All right, you guys have been absolutely sensational. Let me play some bills here. My great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason, and that is because they win. With over $30 billion recovered, Morgan & Morgan is the best injury law firm in the country. I tell you about the family in Pennsylvania here. $650K they were initially offered. They got nearly $30 million in settlement. Also, the family down in Florida got $350,000. They got nearly $12 million in settlement. Friends, do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
Are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley.
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
So, a message to Philadelphia Eagle fans from A.J. Brown. Eagles Nation, thank you for welcoming my family and me with open arms from day one. This city, this locker room, this fan base will always hold a special place in my heart. To my brothers in that locker room, thank you for going to battle with me every single day. The memories we made together on and off the field are something I'll carry with me forever. To the coaching staff, trainers, equipment staff, cafeteria workers, and the cleaning crew, thank you for everything you do behind the scenes to keep us going. There are so many people in the building who make it possible for us to go out there and compete. I'm grateful to all of you. Playing for this city has been an honor, and I'm thankful for every moment I had in the Midnight Green. Thank you, Philly. Much love. God bless. 11. Pretty dope. You do great things like that. You're never going to forget. Okay? All right? I mean, they did marvelous things together. That's the kind of letter, quite frankly, that T.O. should have had on the way out the door. Okay? Seals, hear me out. Does this move the needle for an Aaron Donald return? Boy, I never thought about that. How old is Aaron Donald right now? Has that ship sailed on Donald potentially coming out of retirement? How old is that guy? Aaron Donald. He's 35. Maybe a little long in the tooth, but I don't think that's something that maybe you don't think about. Cowboys are going to sweep the Eagles this year. Here you go. There's Philly. Goodbye, dude. Get lost. No love lost. He screwed over a city for stats. You ever left a job and wanted to go to a better job? A.J. Brown thinks he's getting a better job. Don't get buttered over that. Sills, do you think, Sills, do you talk to Clint about Carter? Are the Eagles losing faith that he could be elite? No, they're not losing faith that he could be elite. They just want him to act better. Screw that bum. Marsh, bring it at home. Mike always loved AJ while Tennessee teams weren't right when they split them apart. Yeah, what's his name? The general manager got in the way of that and shipped him out of town, and Mike Vrabel did not want to get rid of his ass. Did not. Let's see. We had peak AJ. Pats will get him on the decline. You mean like your quarterback? Zander, there's a difference between good and great. When was the last time the Rams were great? 4 years ago when they won the Super Bowl? It hurts now. But in the long run, we did right. We did the right thing. Getting something now. You didn't get anything now. You got nothing for 26. You got a 5th rounder for 27. And you got a 28. You got to wait 2 years before you get your compensation, really. Shields, you got to ask yourself, did Howie settle with the Patriots because it was AJ's preferred destination? I feel like he could have waited and listened to other offers. I don't think that's a terrible take, Denny, that they wanted to do right by AJ. Hey, Denny, does it come to your point now that you think that when Jeffrey Lurie last year walked on the field and told AJ to stop talking and said, shut your face, we'll do right by you if you do right by us? Surely looks like that could have been a conversation now, doesn't it? Here's a great take. Hurts is still in his infancy of his career, you dingus. And that's why they're changing everything. And I'm sure he'll be better without A.J. Brown. So sure of it. And they're asking him to play like Brock Purdy. I can't wait. He's in the beginning stages of playing like Brock Purdy. Never seen anything. Hey, Matthew Stafford, I want you to play like Jalen Hurts now. Or I want you to play like Lamar Jackson at 38. Whatever, dude. Such a Dunkov. A $30 million job is not good. Hell, get out of here, Sills. No, he wants that $32 million job in New England with a better quarterback. I don't know how you don't see that. He's not making any more money in New England. He's making the same money. So what's the difference? The quarterback and the coach, Mike Vrabel and Drake May. He doesn't want to work for Nick, and he doesn't want to play with Jalen. Okay? E-Train says, I missed this super chat. Let me see. When was this? E-Train, you're making me go back and you don't have a super. Let's see here. E-Train. Wait. See if E-Train's got one here. Okay, where is this? Yeah, no. If not, we'll look for it tomorrow. Let's see here. But they change everything every year. Your takes make no... Really? You think Andy Reid is telling Patrick Mahomes to play like somebody else? What a fucking idiot. Yeah, hey. Matthew Stafford, let's change the entire offense. That's not happening. Changing the entire offense and different approach in Los Angeles, Dallas, Green Bay, Kansas City, they don't do that, dude. On what world do you live in that they do that? A small rebuild, yes, especially on offense. Dude, you got a complete schematic change in what they're going to do. I mean, nope. Hey, I don't get that take. A rebuild. How many Super Bowls did the Chiefs win without Hill? 2. Oh. So you're comparing Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts together. Solid. This season depends on the play and health of the left guard and center. Maybe so. Maybe. That could be. Okay. Sills, it is still as simple as being a decent run team. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I do. I think it's as simple as that. Guys, I got to tell you, guys have been great. I mean, all the platforms today, 1,000 people in here throughout the entire 4 hours, which was really great. We appreciate that on a historic day. And a lot of pressure on a lot of people now. The new rookie in Mekhi Lemon, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, the new OC. There is so much now pressure on those guys. Guys were great, man. I mean, fantastic. John and Big Z are going to have their takes on AJ being dealt. Okay. So we appreciate you. Make sure you check out Bird 365 in the morning as well. We'll be back with you 2 to 6. Howard Eskin will join us tomorrow. That'll be at 4:30. We'll see you then, and we'll catch you on the flip side.